Hello, hello, hello. What's up this morning, everyone? Welcome. Oh no, not again. The echo. Fine Tuesday to ya all. Good to see ya. What is up? Tessinger, Shotgun Dev, Lucid, Thornblood. How is everyone doing today? Mecha Fox, good to see ya. Hopefully everyone is having a spectacular day, and today we're gonna do some standarding. So, one thing I've realized, hey, Mega Magic Carp, how are you? Good to see ya. What's up the ceiling? Mega Magic Carp, you always have the dad jokes. We can always, food quests and dad jokes can always count on Mega Magic Carp. The Nitro Nemesis, Cyber Killers, Pride Squad, Yargle. How is everyone doing today? I'm surprised anyone knows who the Shags are, actually. I'm surprised. I did not figure anyone would know who they were. I'm impressed, Lucid. I'm impressed. So today, one thing I've realized in Standard lately is that it turns out Badgermole Cub, it's a card. My God, is this thing. Wow. I don't know if you've been playing Standard lately, or I guess Modern, or Legacy apparently too. Badgermole Cub is the truth. This card is so ridiculously powerful. The Simic deck, if you played any Standard, you probably run into the Simic deck. It is so incredibly fast and so incredibly explosive. So our plan today is try to stick it to Badgermole Cup players, because I'm really tired of losing to Badgermole Cup players. So our goal today is to make Badgermole Cup players very, very sad. We might play a game or two with the Badgermole Cup deck just so you can see how, like, if you haven't seen it, it's one of those decks. When I first played against the Simic deck, when I first played against it, I thought, oh, okay, they just got a nut draw, right? The mana dork into Badgermole Cub, and they dump their whole hand. Probably just a nut draw. How often does that happen? Oh my God, it happens a lot. It is actually a very consistent deck, but we have a plan. We have a plan for this. Our plan for making Badgermole Cub players sad is I guess it's death and taxes, Stax, I don't know what you want to call it, but my way to try to defeat the nemesis of Badgermole Cub is essentially just stacks them out of the game with mono white. And the key card, the card that makes this so hilarious, is Clarion Conqueror. Clarion Conqueror. It says activate abilities on artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can't be activated. It does not exclude mana abilities, which a lot of these effects do. So what this means is all the Earthbend lands suddenly don't tap for mana. So this is often 3 mana, like blow up 2 or 3 lands. It shuts down all the mana dorks. It is ridiculous against Badgermole Cubs. Is it just too slow? We have Momo friendly flyer, so hopefully we can get it down on turn 2. We don't actually really want Momo, but Momo is our mono white Llanowar elf to try to get down our Clarion Conqueror a little bit faster. Ultima, I wanted to play Ultima. I was thinking about putting it in the sideboard. I'm a little bit worried about blowing up our own board, which is kind of awkward. We also have like Doorkeeper Thrall, shuts down Badgermole Cubs, Enters trigger if we can get it down fast enough. So that's good there. Yirnasaki, not as good against the Badgermole Cub deck, but it gives us some action in other matchups, like against the Artifact decks. And then Archangel Atize, I think is actually kind of good. I think people forgot about this card. It does die, but so does Sheoldred, so does a Bororoid. Like, being a 4-drop that has to stick on the battlefield doesn't seem to be a deal breaker anymore. And this just makes it really hard for our opponent to attack or block us. And it gives us another flyer that comes down early off of Momo. So that's the Stax plan. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see if it actually works, if it actually stops the Badgermole Cubs. But that's the plan for today. We're going to stop that, and then maybe the other deck I've been messing around with that we haven't played yet is this, like, Clue Sacrifice deck, which I don't know if you remember. Oh, no, what is this card? Someone help me. So this was Amonkhet Standard. I believe it started with Hidden, the name of the card. Hidden something. It's a 2-mana Orzhov enchantment with Revolt, and as long as you sack something during your turn, you get to make a 1/1 servo, I think it was. I cannot remember the name of the card right now, but there's a really sweet sacrifice deck built around that, where you double up the tokens with Anointed Procession, and eventually you just built this like ridiculously huge board of stuff, and I think we can do something. Yes. Hidden Stockpile. Yes, Thornblood. Thank you. That is the one. But now we have Toils of War, which is kind of similar. Makes a clue when you sack something, you get an ally token once per turn. We have Obsessive Pursuit, which is the black props, essentially. It's essentially props eidetic memory for sacrificing rather than drawing cards. And then we get the sacrifice stuff. And one of my other favorite cards is Foggy Swamp Visions. This card the Superior Spider-Man deck, the like standard living end deck, it's so funny against it. You just let them like mill and get their their huge stuff in the graveyard, and then you just do their combo with Foggy Swamp Vision better than they do their combo with Superior Spider-Man. You just reanimate all their stuff and make them die. So that's what we're doing today. Shutting down Badgermole Cubs, and then maybe doing some Clue Sacrifice. So that is our plan for today. There's a Black Sweeper from Avatar that removes creatures' abilities. You know what I learned, Thornblood? I thought that was one of the, well, assuming you can actually resolve it, Day of Black Suns, I thought that was one of the best answers to Badgermole Cub, but I learned today that it doesn't actually work, which is insane. So, Day of Black Sun, the big issue, well, there's two issues. The biggest issue is it doesn't actually stop Earthbend, which is very counterintuitive. The other issue is 2 and X is just a lot. Like, you need to get up to 4 mana, maybe 5 mana to blow up everything. If they got a Boroid, 6 mana. And they have counter spells. But the weird thing about this is, apparently, this doesn't actually stop Earthbend, even though it says each creature with mana value X or less loses all abilities until end of turn, and then you destroy the creatures. But apparently, because it's a delayed triggered ability, you still get all your Earthbend lands back even through Day of Black Sun, which is so funny because I thought that was the whole purpose of this card was to hate on Earthbend, but no, it doesn't actually stop Earthbend apparently. Which is so weird. Yeah, Earthbend's really hard to hate on. Thoughts on Unable to Scream is Badgermole hate in blue decks. It's 1 mana Stone Rain if you squint hard enough. I actually think it's pretty good. I was messing around with a deck earlier, and I think it is a pretty good answer. Hey Seth, your blue-white flyer deck, budget deck looks pretty cool. Might it be better to swap the self-bounce stuff for more tempo stuff like Flay Boom tricks? I think that's another direction you could go. You could go full-on like Flash Flyers. I kind of like the self-bounce synergies. I thought they worked pretty well, but I think there's like, I guess that's one of the upsides of having so many cards in Standard, of having 3 years of sets in Standard. You can actually build that blue-white Flyers deck in a few different ways. You could go like bigger with Quantum Riddler. You could try to get rid of the self-bounce plan and go full-on Flash. You could go even more towards the self-bounce plan. So I think there's a bunch of ways to go. I like the self-bounce plan just because picking up Aang and even Interrupter again and again feels so brutal. Like, the game where just like, Aang you, and then pick it up, and then Aang you, and pick it up, and then Aang you. It's such a strong tempo play, but how much mana for mass bounce creatures in Standard? Maybe that would be the way. I don't think we have a lot of good options. Return all creatures, owners. Fairy Slumber Party, 6 mana. Return all creatures to the owner's hand. For each opponent who controlled a creature returned this way, you make 2 1/1 blue fairy. I mean, if you get to it, I know there's Summon Leviathan, also 6 mana. River's Rebuke is all permanents, I believe. Actually, River's Rebuke might be non-land permanents, all non-land permanents. So yeah, there's a couple of 6 mana ways, but not a ton. Aetherize does get them. I thought for 3 years of Coven Warrior it'd make me feel as the dread for Standard. I think I mentioned this on the podcast lately. I can already see it coming. We are like 6 months away from an inevitable article from WotC where they're like, well, guys, you know, sometimes things go wrong. When we were testing Badgermole Cub, we mostly tried it in boomy Earthbend decks, and we didn't actually think to try it with Llanowar Elves, so we just wanted to apologize. We'll make sure to, you know, not do that again. It's one of those cards. It's gonna be one of those cards. I mean, we're weak into Standard, so hopefully we can just Stax it out of existence, or maybe play enough removal or right hate pieces. But I do think Badgermole Cub has potential to be one of those cards where we're getting the apology article a year from now, where Wizards is talking about how the testing process just went horribly awry. Is a Boroid our new Hoof? I mean, I've seen people actually playing Hoof in this style of deck, and it looks pretty sweet. But a Boroid's just more consistent, I guess. It's like, it takes you probably 2 turns to win instead of 1 turn, but it's much more castable when things go wrong. So I think you can actually argue that it actually kind of is the new Hoof, as weird as that sounds. Hey, Seth in chat. I have a deck that might make it so my life total reaches 0 before I can do anything, but I have so many cards in my hand. Huh? What? I'm so confused. How are you, Autism? Good to see a Villas. Ooh, some Villas shenanigans, eh? Well, yeah, Villas is very good at drawing lots of cards, and also very good at making you lose life. That looks fun. Some mono black action. Yeah, Villas is a pretty powerful commander if you can get it down. It is 8 mana, but once you get it down, my god, it is very good. What do you think of vehicles with ETB or attack triggers like Lumbering Worldwagon in a Toph Metal Bender deck? I think that's actually a cool way to take advantage of Toph. I think that's a really fun way. I haven't really figured out a great way to build Toph in Standard yet. I still want to do it. I just haven't figured out the right way, but I think the vehicle plan's pretty cool. What other vehicles do we have that actually have attack triggers? Are there other good ones in Standard? Carriage of Dreams. When attacks, you can pay 2. When you do, yeah, probably not that one. Possessing Engine, Lunar Whale. As long as you attack, you can play the top card of your library. I mean, that's actually kind of cute. It's in the wrong colors for Toph, but it is cute. I still want to build Head Shredder. I think Head Shredder is a very, maybe a Head Shredder Toph. Maybe Head Shredder Toph is the way to go. Head Shredder could be cool. It's another 4-drop. But yeah, I could see Lumbering Worldwagon into Toph being pretty strong. That seems pretty sweet. Hey, what's up, Trainer Blue? Good to see you. Good to see you. How's it going today? Hey, Seth, I was watching this week's Budget Magic, and I saw you suffer with a mana base and thought I would make a new series where you play non-budget versions of decks with, decks 0 the tier deck. Wait. Where you play the non-budget version of decks, the tier decks. So we'd call it boring magic or power magic. Ooh, so essentially take the budget decks and play the powered version. Yeah, that's something we do on occasion. I don't know if it's worth doing every single budget magic, but I do think that's something we should do more of. Like, is with the right decks, like play the non-budget version too. It's funny, a lot of the budget decks, it's so tough. And I guess this has always been true, like in Magic, and it's still true today. But a lot of the budget decks, the biggest pinch is often the mana base, and I think it's even worse right now. Just because of the weirdness with the shocklands going on, sometimes you got to play Multiversal Passage and Starting Town, and those just are way more expensive than they should be. Even just like looking at Simic, to play a $100 budget deck, like you don't have many untapped budget duels right now. I think that's what we're missing the most in Standard as far as budget decks are concerned. There's no like Buddy lands or Pain lands. We do have 5 of the fast lands, which are cheap, but otherwise shock lands are expensive, Verges are expensive, Starting Town's expensive, Multiversal Patches is expensive. So it's either play like a tap mana base, or you really have to splurge on the budget to get the dual lands. Sniper, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Why did I not hear the splash? Hang on, we're gonna do our reminders in it. Let me refresh this real quick, and then we'll get into our games. So reminders, replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube, we played some budget blue-white flyers yesterday. Tomorrow, special video tomorrow. Paper magic. Me and Richard are playing some paper magic, and I think y'all are gonna like it. So make sure to check that out tomorrow. I'm hoping, I said this last stream, I think, but I'm really hoping that next year, maybe we have like close to weekly paper magic games mixed into the gameplay schedule. But there's one going up tomorrow that's gonna be super fun. So if you want to see me and Richard play some paper magic, that's going up on the YouTube channel tomorrow. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can come over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Maybe get a sticker. Still not sure if you get a sticker. Ask them. Hopefully they send you a sticker. I'm sure they'll send you something, but I don't know if they got goldfish stickers or not. Anyway, yeah, I like paper magic videos too. Ever since we started doing Commander Clash, there is just like, there's something that feels authentic about it and real about it. Not that playing on Arena or Moto is inauthentic, but it just like, I don't know, there's nothing like having the actual cardboard and the shuffling, and it just feels right in some way. Have you gotten around to try Riftbound yet? I have not tried Riftbound yet. I don't live in a very LGS heavy area, so there's not a lot of options to play. Plus, it's super sold out. It sounds like from what I've been hearing, but I am interested in giving it a try. I think my normal technique when it comes to TCGs is I usually wait a couple years and see, because there's so many TCGs. I remember Artifact, and then what was the one a couple years ago? Metazoo, and like there's all these TCGs that come and go. So I think the safest plan, because TCGs are expensive, is like give it a year or two, see if they're still like doing well and getting hype, and then take the plunge on buying it if you want to try it. So I would like to try it at some point. I wish they had a digital client. If they had a digital client, I would have tried it already, I think. But yeah, so I will try it at some point, though. Will you show up on Shuffle and Play one day? Hopefully. I mean, Prav has been trying to get me out there for a while, so maybe, hopefully. It's more just a matter of me not wanting to fly across country and do all that kind of stuff. So that's the main issue. But I think it'll end up happening at some point. I just gotta do it and make the West Coast trip and and just suck it up and go. But I mean, I could also swing by and see Goldfish headquarters, which I think is Richard's house. But if I'm going out west, might as well see the headquarters there, Goldfish West. Is there something with Cub and Doppelgang for Duber around? I do love some Doppelgang. I actually messed around with that. I haven't cracked it yet, but it has been on my to-do list. I put together a deck and it didn't do very well, but I do think Cub and Doppelgang, if you can get it right, you Doppelgang the Cubs and lands, and if you can have a way to get back to Doppelgang, each time you do that, you should make more and more mana because of the Cubs, and then you just essentially go infinite. So I think there is a way to make it work. How about Gruul Badgermole Cub with Calamity of Zookeeper? Swing into a 12/12 Calamity and a 6/6 Badgermole on turn 5. Hey, as soon as I realized how busted it is, I went and I just started looking at 5 and 6 drops. I went through all the 5 and 6 drops in Standard, and everyone uses Badgermole to ramp into like boring stuff like a Boroid. But I was like, what is the coolest thing you can ramp into? And I think the coolest thing you can ramp into is actually Doubling Season and then Planeswalkers. You could do some funny things. I think Badgermole Cub is so strong. Like, I'm worried that it's too strong overall, but it does allow you to ramp into really hilarious things, and it's so strong that it kind of makes those decks actually work, because Badgermole Cub is just such a good standalone card. Why don't you build an Is It Control deck? I mean, Is It Control, I think, is very close to like the Lesson deck. I think if I was going to build Is It Control, it would probably be very similar to that. Puntologist for the 22nd month. Yeah, Badgermole Cub does make so much mana. I'd say Nature's Rhythm into Craterhoof with Badgermole Cub. The possibilities are endless. They're really endless with the amount of mana this makes. Have you seen what is it? So if you think about Badgermole Cub, turn 1 Mana Dork, turn 2 Badgermole Cub means you untap on turn 3 with at least 6 mana, right? 2 from the Mana Dork, 2 from the land that you turned into a creature, and then 2 other lands. So really, with a reasonable draw, you should have enough mana to cast basically any bomby thing that you want to, which is pretty fun and also just like obscenely strong. Earthbending is insane in EDH. Yeah, this set is just, I will say, I mentioned this on the podcast yesterday, I'm very happy with the amount of impact this set is making. Like, the set is actually having a pretty big impact on Standard, which is something I think was missing really from a lot of previous sets. Like, a lot of previous sets, they kind of came and went, right? Like, Spider-Man, Final Fantasy definitely had some impact. Edge of Eternities had some impact. Ether Drift, definitely not a lot of impact. So we've had some sets that really just fell short, but we've actually seen a really big impact from Avatar. Like, even outside of Badgermole Cub, we have the Badgermole Cub decks. We have, if we go to, where's Avatar? We have the Airbending combo decks have been good. We've seen allies actually putting up results, like 5-color ally decks, so those seem good. And that doesn't even include just like all the random, like Washi Tong. It doesn't really have its own deck, but I've definitely seen it in ramp decks. I've seen it in some of those Badgermole decks. You play a copy or 2 in there. So there's been like really big impact from the set in Standard, which is something that I think we really need. Like, I would like every set to have that kind of impact, as long as it doesn't mean even more rampant power creep. Like, if you just have to keep power creeping for sets to have impact, that's probably not a healthy way, but some weirdos probably like Wan Shishong gameplay. The card's really good too. Hey, what's up, Cosmic Sands? How are you? Good to see you. Anyway, how well do you know the Badgermole Cub deck? Because we're gonna see if we can Stax the Badgermole Cub deck. But I'm curious, have you seen this deck in action? Because I was thinking we might play a couple deck games with it, just so if you haven't actually seen what this deck does, because it's not gonna make much sense, the cards that we're playing, to try to hate on this deck if you haven't actually seen the deck in action. You played against it yesterday? Okay. I was thinking we might just do a game or two with the deck so you can just like see, because it is like the second most played deck in Standard right now. So you are going to see this deck pretty often if you're playing the ladder or whatever. So let's do a couple games. We're not going to play this all stream because I don't want to say hate this deck, but it is one of my least favorite decks. It's so fast. But let's play a couple games with the Badgermole deck just so you can see what it does. And then we will see if we can make Badgermole players sad. Could you check my Modern deck for locals and tell me what you think? Yeah, let me take a look. Quiet in my library. Ooh. Are we playing some control? Eh? I mean, one of the things that makes me happiest in Magic in the last year is seeing Scepter Orbs chant become a real thing in Modern. That makes me so happy. Like, it's so cool that it's actually a real thing. The deck looks solid to me. I'm curious to see how good Wanashi Tong is in it. I assume it should be amazing. Like, it looks like it should be amazing. I haven't tested it much in Modern yet though, but the deck looks solid. What is Prophetic? Oh, preordained. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, what is Prophetic Beginning? Yeah, that looks solid. I think that Modern, if you watch the RCs this past weekend, oh, we have no Mana Dork. If we had a Mana Dork, this end would be good. Ooh, okay, well, this is definitely not the nut draw by any stretch, but I guess we'll keep this. The sand is not going to show off the explosiveness of Badgermole Cub, that's for sure. Let's put I guess we put the Washi Tong on the... Yeah, let's put the Washi Tong on the bottom. Hey, Seth, in chat. Did you know that in terms of human companionship, Flareon is objectively the most huggable Pokemon? I'm not sure who Flareon is. See, that's what you get for asking me. Let's see, Flareon. Oh, that Flareon? Most huggable? Really? I don't know. I guess it looks kind of huggable. I don't know. I guess I would hug it if I had to. Oh, is that a copy pasta? All right, let's just play this on blue. Is there like a joke to that? Like, is that like a Pokemon meme that I don't know? I still think they aren't going to print learn cards in Strixhaven because the power level, why they keep getting cards like Badgermole Cub. I mean, yeah, I still kind of think that they probably won't print. Maybe they will. I think there's some chance that they print the learn cards, but they just power them down enough that it's fine. I think that's a possibility. Hey Seth, our local LGS is upcharging for the Final Fantasy Chocobo bundles. All my LGSs are charging 400 plus tax with MSRP at 150. So I haven't checked a ton of LGSs, but all Final Fantasy stuff has been absurdly expensive. So it kind of would make sense to... Pinnacle Star KJ, what are we up against? Boros Control? Do we just play this? Do we leave up the Tidebinder? It's got to be a dragon deck. Yeah, we'll just play another Grineth and then play land on green. Pass the turn. Oh, this is not going that well so far. I don't know. I see him on TCG about 200. It looks like they were really expensive everywhere like a month and a half ago. But it seems like they're coming down. I would just, if you want one, I would just snag one online if you can get them for just over 200. I'm a big, like, support your LGS if you can person, but if your LGS is literally charging, like, double, that's really tough. That's really tough to support that. Found it. Getting in with the Cosmic Grand Zenith, sure. So we could have, like, played things. We were kind of hoping they were going to double spell here, though, and then we can Tidebind while they're going to pass. Well, I guess we can Badgermole Cub. No, we can't Badgermole Cub. Huh. The question is, can we play through this Cosmogrand? You know what? I think we have to, whatever. Make your tokens, opponent. Make your tokens. Spyglass Siren. Double it up. ×2. Badgermole Cub. ×2. All right. Not the fastest start, but we're still doing the thing. Airbend to land, or Earthbend to land, Earthbend to land, get it and hit ya, and all right, well, all of a sudden, we have a million bodies, opponent. More Pinnacle Star Cages. Sure. Well, that is annoying. I don't even know if Pinnacle Starcade is that great of an answer. Like, it gets rid of some of our stuff, but it doesn't actually get rid of... It doesn't actually get rid of the lands. Bona hits us down to 14. Well, that's... so awkward. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just keep playing things. Llanowar Elves. Innkeeper Talent. What is our opponent's deck? I'm confused at what our opponent's even trying to do. I'm in Canada, so maybe it's a limited supply thing, I'm not sure. But it's a little ridiculous. My only realistic option is buying a Japanese Chocobo bundle for 200. Oh, yeah, that is kind of ridiculous. Did you see they're doing 7-card Final Fantasy packs over in... Oh, is this Jeskai Control with Cosmic Grand Zenith? You see they're doing these 7-card boosters for Final Fantasy over in Japan. They're only selling them in Japan. I don't know if that's like good or bad. I remember when they first announced that they were going to do like the mini boosters. I was pretty skeptical because you don't get a rare in every pack, which seems like, or you're not guaranteed to get a rare in every pack, which seems like kind of a big deal. But I guess it's nice that you have a cheap way to get a Final Fantasy pack. I think Magic is just Yu-Gi-Oh now. How many of you actually play Yu-Gi-Oh? Opponent going to Into the Flood Maw. Okay, yeah, this is... Well, I mean, in our defense, our opponent's had double Pinnacle Starcade here. And we've tried to leave up this Tidebinder to deal with the Cosmic Grand Zenith, but our opponent, like... I do not know what their deck... This is the worst Cosmic Grand Zenith I've ever seen. Like, I really don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening with our opponent's deck. I don't think I've ever seen anyone... I don't think I've ever seen a worse Cosmic Grand Zenith. Like, it's been out there for so many turns, and it has not triggered a single time. Maybe we need to stop trying to stop it, because our opponent's not going to use it anyway. Like, if our opponent's just going to refuse to make tokens, I guess Tidebinder's not doing much. Don't it? So they are just... Okay, so this is just a control deck, but playing a Cosmic Grand Zenith as a 2/4 blocker, I guess? Whoa, all right. They finally did it. Tidebinder. Shut down the Cosmic Grand. Okay. Well, you're not making tokens now. Do you mind checking out my standard deck I'm playing to build? Yeah, let me see, Ario. Oh, opponent. I'm gonna stock up. I'm gonna draw some cards. I mean, we're actually kind of in pretty bad shape here. I'm not sure we can realistically win the game at this point. Like, this deck really wants to be aggro. I remember Krim saying on the podcast, he was like, yeah, I'm not scared of the Simic deck. I just play control. I just like cut all my win cons and all I play is cheap removal and I figure I'll win somehow and that deck's not a problem at all. So this might not be the most ideal matchup because it seems like we might be getting crimmed. We might be getting crimmed out of this one. Hitch it down to 13. Let's see, Zuko, Modified Savior. I think Zuko's a really cool card. I'm excited for Zuko. It really suffers from the bad mana right now. I feel like Zuko gets way more realistic once we get the rest of the Shocklands. Ooh, opponent. Twin Maw Stormbrood. And, well, if they make tokens here, I think they just got it. This was not a great example of... All right, sure. So it's not a great example of the power of Badgermole Cub, that's for sure. What I want to play in Zuko is Opera Love Song, and Heroes Hideout to capitalize on the Firebending X. Yeah, it does seem sweet. This deck, so, got the Opera Love Song, got the Haste Magic going. I feel like Zuko just, like, the Cast from Exile part, even without the Firebending part, I feel like just the Cast from Exile, put a counter on everything, that's a really powerful effect on a 3-drop 2/4. And then you get the upside. Of potentially making a lot of mana with it. So interesting deck list. So I assume the haste is to try to haste in Firelord Zuko. But then what do we do with the mana? What do we do with the mana during combat, though? I think that's kind of the challenge of Firebending, right? You want, like, these support cards to try to make the mana, but then you need a way to spend the mana. It's a really interesting mix. I feel like once the mix gets figured out, it's probably going to be very powerful, but getting that right mixture of like the cards that let you make the mana with firebending and then payoffs for the firebending, that might actually be kind of tricky. How do you feel about having Blood Moon as a commander in EDH? So I'm the biggest Blood Moon supporter in the world. I love Blood Moons. It's literally my favorite card. But I won't play it as a commander in EDH. Like I think it's just like too mean. So people have been asking me, why aren't you playing the Blood Moon commander on Commander Clash? And the answer is just like, I actually don't think it's a very fun commander. Like, if I'm playing CDH, that's fine. If I'm playing CDH, then yes, I'm down with Blood Mooning from the command zone. But in just a casual game, I actually think it's a little much. Because it seems very easy. Like, if you build around it as your commander, it seems very easy to have it turn on very, very early in the game. I don't know. What do you think? Like, is it acceptable? Should I be playing Blood Moon as my commander? Man, these hands, where's the brokenness? All right, I mean, we're going to keep this. It does not beat a Pinnacle Starcage, I don't think, but we also don't have a Badgermole Cub. And the 99, I think it depends on your play group. I also don't play Blood Moon in the 99. I think that creature-based Blood Moons are a little bit friendlier because at least you can kill them, which is something that is not easy to do with an enchantment Blood Moon for all decks. But I feel like it really depends on what bracket you were playing, or just like the power level of your play group, right? If your play group's down with it and everyone's cool with that style of play, then I think it's fine. But some play groups probably do not want to get Blood Moon. I think for me, Commander is always about, I want the entire table to have fun. When I play 1v1, I want only me to have fun and me to take away as much fun as possible from my opponent. But when I play Commander, I really want everyone to enjoy the experience. So I try to avoid cards that are too one-sided when it comes to the fun that they offer. And I think that Blood Moon is one of those cards that's very one-sided as far as the amount of fun it offers. But like I said, it's really up to your play group. When we play salty weeks on Commander Clash, where everyone knows going into it that's the goal, right? Everyone's going to be playing Armageddons. Everyone's going to be playing Stax pieces. Everyone has a good time because our expectations are the same, right? The expectations are that's how the game's going to go, so no one gets salty about it. Jeez, our opponent is very in on this control plan. My God. Well, let's crack this map. Do not want a Gene Pollinator. Hit ya. Down to 16. I recently got this blue card that has a player return a land to their hand when they cast a spell. Fun is a thing of perspective. Hey, that is sort of like my tolerance. Oh my God. Why can we not draw a land? My personal tolerance for stuff like that's very high. I've talked about this before, but like I learned to play Magic against Stasis and against Scepter Chant Logs. Like that was literally my super casual cess introduction to Magic. Was trying to beat Stasis Logs and beat Scepter Chant. So my tolerance for stuff like that is incredibly high. I think that's why I still love prison decks today. Like I love that play style. But I also realize, I remember I tried to teach my little brothers Magic. This was years ago. I tried to teach them Magic, and I put World Purge in the deck. I don't know. I don't even remember why. I thought it was funny. And like, I cast the World Purge in the game, and we were playing just like, it wasn't even Commander, I don't think. I think it was like 4-player casual. Maybe it was Commander. I can't remember if we just played like 60 card 4-player game or if it was Commander. But I cast the World Purge and bounced everything, and just the look on their faces, it just like, this is not fun. Why are we even doing this? What kind of game is this? And I realized that my experience is not everyone's experience, that's for sure. You know what? We're just going to level this up. Whatever. Let's go in on the Innkeeper's talent. Let's make the mightiest Spyglass Siren hit you. Down to 9. Pound it. Untaps. Pinnacle Starcage. I mean, they played the Shiko and bounce, I guess, the Innkeeper's talent. But then we get to resolve an Aboroid. Found it. Into the Flood Maw. Get him out to Innkeeper's Talent. Give us a fish, I assume, because I can't target the other stuff because of War Opponent. Gonna pick it up. They're gonna make some tokens. Yup. Found it. I mean, you can get in with the Cosmogran. Might as well. Gene Pollinator. Well, let's play the Aboroid. Go to combat, grow the stuff, hit you with the Spyglass Siren. Found it, down to 3. Well, now our opponent has to kill the Aboroid. We might be able to win with Wanshi Tong. Like, if our opponent rats, we might be able to flash this in. Found it, Multiversal Passage. Gonna get in with the Shiko. Down to 16, sure. Opponent passes, well. Let's go to combat. And we're just gonna swing with every... If we get Etherized, I swear to the magic gods, I swears. Found it, blocks. Found it, blocks. Found it, blocks. Found it, blocks. Sure. Kill them all. Pass the turd. If our opponent wraths, we got the owl. I think we're gonna beat the control deck. Opponent, you got the wrath? You gotta have the wrath. Aboroid is such an absolutely obscene card. My god, this whole deck. Opponent. Untap land out of 1 passes. Wait, why are they not dying? I'm so confused. Combat? They don't have ether. They can't have Etherize, right? Are we trying to play around Etherize? What else can they have? I guess there's the instant speed wrath. The 6 mana and opponent scoops it up. Aboroid. How are you? Our Oberoid? That's probably how you're supposed to say it, isn't it? All right, opponent didn't have anything. They look like they had things. What are you doing? Okay, you're good, Bearby. You know what? Speaking of my pronunciations, this card released in Edge of Eternity. I thought until yesterday that it was Gene Polluter, and it was like a Phyrexian insect thing that was like going around polluting people's genes. Turns out it's Gene Pollinator, which really changes the context of what that card is supposed to be doing. We do have dragons. This is not the Dragon Sniper matchup, I don't think. They don't have enough creatures. Dragon Sniper is like a removal spell for the creature decks. I think we just run it back. I really wanted to just show off how busted Badgermole Cub can be, but so far this is not happening with this matchup. Our Oberoid. Yeah, I guess that's probably right. I feel like Accumulate Wisdom is the truth. So much so that about 20 copies. Do you think I wasted my $20? So they're about $1 a copy now? I mean, I think Accumulate Wisdom is also the truth. It isn't uncommon. We have seen uncommons that are good in standard be expensive. I think the question, so here's the challenge for Accumulate Wisdom. I think there's a chance that it ends up $3, $4, or $5. I think that's definitely a possibility. The only question is, will it get better in the future? Like, will it ever get better in the future? Because it's very dependent on lessons in specific. So I think the question is going to be, does Strixhaven give us more support for learning lessons? If lessons are only an avatar and we don't get anything else that supports them, it's hard to see how the lesson deck gets meaningfully better a year from now or 2 years from now. I guess maybe your finishers get a little better or whatever, but like it's not going to get meaningfully better. So I think that's the big question. Like, Accumulate Wisdom is dependent on lessons being good. Are lessons going to be good enough as a whole for Accumulate Wisdom to be good? I think there's a chance we end up with a really good lesson deck, and this is like the key card that ends up, $5 or something. So I think there's a chance. There's also a chance that, it ends up Circle of Loyalty, right? When I thought Knights would be really good way back in Eldraine, and Knights sucked, so Circle of Loyalty ended up sucking and wasn't worth anything. So it's inexact science. More art than science, as they say. Do you think they will? Do you think we will get more lesson support in Strixhaven? You think it'll bring Learn? That was my gut, was like, okay, you give us Learn now, and then we get or give us lessons now, then we'll get Learn when we go back to Strixhaven. That was my initial thought. I'm not convinced now, though. Now I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that they actually will, because I think the the lessons are actually just very efficient this time. They're way more efficient than last time. Last time, the lessons kind of sucked. Like, if you look at the old lessons, they were all so overcosted. And that just is not the case. Like, now they are all costed like just a normal magic card. But if you look at the original ones, whew. I mean, I guess like environmental sciences was kind of fine, but like Introduction to Prophecy, 3 mana for a preordain, although it's colorless, reduced to memory, sorcery speed, beast within style effect, necrotic fumes, 3 mana exile a creature playing. They were all just like a little tax. Even mascot exhibition, which I'm not 7 mana, like they were all like a mana, maybe a mana more than you would expect if they were not a lesson. This time they're all exactly the price you would like. If you erase lesson off these cards, you would not know the difference. Like, they are all the price that you would expect to pay. But it is possible that they go the opposite direction, because before the learn cards, they were fine. Like, they were mostly on curve. Divide by Zero got banned. Professor of Symbology, pretty much on curve. So maybe they power down the learn cards a little bit and make them a little bit more overcosted. It'll be interesting to see. Oh, the pest decks were sweet. I've tutored Pest Infestation from so many sideboards. I actually really like, and I think this is especially important for Best of 1 where you don't have a sideboard, but even in Best of 3, I really like the lesson sideboard plan. I think it adds an interesting element to the game and to deck building. So I would like to see lessons come back. I don't know, out of all the new archetypes, if you just look at what's doing well in Standard, we've seen results from allies. We've seen the airbending combo deck be very real. We've seen Badgermole Cub decks be everywhere. We've seen self-bounce with Boomerang Basics. Boomerang Basics literally being the top played card in some of these events. Like, it is really, really impactful there. One thing that we don't see, we see Is It, but this is It essentially the Is It Props deck without Props Dynamic Memory? Is it Tiger Seal, I guess, if you want to call it that? Basically, Is It card draw, but without the payoffs they used to have. But one thing we haven't really seen putting up actual like tournament results is the lesson plan. We haven't seen lessons do that yet. So that's the part that concerns me a little bit, is we haven't seen the impact. I will say, Shotgun, I think Shotgun Dev, you're a little ahead of your time here. You were pitching the Bramble Familiar plan back before we had all the new airbending stuff, and now we see the Bramble Familiar fetch quest plan actually be part of the airbending combo deck, which is turning into a very real deck in Standard. So I think you were just a little ahead of your time, Shotgun Dev. You were on the tech before it was actually good, and now it actually is good. Everything that I see from the way cards currently interact with lessons in this set makes me think that we could go back to Arcane if we go back to Kamigawa again. Ooh. I guess that's a good point. Like, Arcane was a mechanic that... Oh, so close. We needed a land. Okay, this hand's a little bit explosive. This hand, we'll see. We'll see. And we're on the play. So we start with the Gene Pollinator. We don't have any big payoff. Opponent. Gonna lead on a... Ooh, okay, now we do have a payoff too. So now we can play a Badgermole Cub and turn on this forest, and then Gene Pollinator, make 2 mana, Innkeeper's Talent, put a counter on the Badgermole Cub, and our opponent needs a removal spell right now where the Boroid's coming, and if the Boroid's coming, this game is very likely over on turn 3. Opponent. And this is not even a crazy hand. Opponent. Land. Spring-loaded Sawblade. All right, opponent. Staying alive. Well, that's, I guess, just Paw Patch Recruit, unfortunately, since we lost our Badgermole. Paw Patch with a baby. And counter on, I guess, a Paw Patch. Pass the turn. I like the Iroh Lesson deck a lot, too. The infinite combo part. Is this a... Oh, synthesize. All right, we really just need to hit a land here. If we can just hit a land for the our Ouroboros, I think I got it now. For the snake, if we hit a land for the snake, we did not. Oh wait, this might work though. Does this work? 1, 2. It doesn't. 1, 2. Man, it doesn't work, does it? So I guess we just play the Badgermole Cub. Turn on the Verge. Tap a Badgermole Cub. Level up Innkeeper's Talent. Play another Gene Pollinator. Get in Hitch. I mean, we still might be winning this. We'll see. All of our lands are creatures. Opponent. Opponent. Split up. Okay. Sure. Well, that's awkward. I mean, we do get to get the snake down. I think this is a extend into everything deck. Like, I think you try to put them to the test. And try to kill them on turn 4. Perilous Snare. Found it. You're gonna get rid of the snake. And the opponent might actually have it here. Opponent might have it. That split up. That split up might be enough. Soulstone Sanctuary. Well, I mean, sure. Double the counters. Go, Gene Polluter. Found it. Gonna chomp. Oh, opponent. Wow. This is a very good draw for our opponent. This is a very good draw for our opponent. Wow. And it's... All right, yeah. I mean, that was exactly the draw our opponent needed. I don't actually think Starcage is like that. I don't think it's that devastating. Like, it's fine. You get all your lands back, so it's not like it's not like it's that big. It's not any more of a blowout than he is against any other creature deck, right? Like, it's not like you're losing all your lands too. If you were losing all your lands too, then oh yeah, you're definitely in serious trouble. But the fact that you don't lose your lands, what do we cut? What do we cut? It is possible that we want... I don't know. Is Tishana's Tidebinder enough of an answer for something like Pinnacle Starcage? I mean, we get to bring in 4 counters. We get to bring in 2 more Tidebinders. I guess we just go down the Drowners and assume if our opponent makes a huge board of constructs, we're going to lose anyway. Maybe go down the Drowners like a Spyglass Siren, Innkeeper's Talent, something like that. I also worry, now that we're at Mythic, I wonder maybe people will be playing Brews instead of Badgermole Cubs, and then that kind of defeats the purpose of the Staxing a little bit. Huh. Yeah, I guess we just put the land to the bottom. I think we actually just go land more into Innkeeper's Talent, level it up. Unless we draw a 1-drop, then we probably go with... We do not. Well, Innkeeper's Talent. Level up the Innkeeper's Talent. So we want to use the Tidebinder to answer Synthesizer or Starcage, I think. His Ultima's seen more play now. Been mostly drafting, but absolutely wrecks Earthbed. Maybe a little bit in control decks. I think the big challenge is it's kind of expensive. It's a bit on the pricey side. Well, get in with the Llanowar, hit you. I think we got to sit on this Tidebinder. Play the land, pass the turn. Also, we just not have had the spew hand. Yeah, bouncing is the one way you can get around all the safety nets. Although there's not a lot of like good bouncing options. Well, I mean, I think we do it. Tidebind it. We draw another Llanowar Elves. Yeah, I mean, let's level this up. Double the counters on the Tidebinder. At least Tidebinder does get around Starcage. Does not stop our opponent from having a split up, if that's what they have. Would have been nice to draw a counter. Like, a counter would make this kind of easy mode. So Ultima is a good answer. Seriously. Seriously. Found it. Opponent. Alright, I guess we'd start doubling stuff up. Play Druneth, and I guess double Llanowar Elves. And counters on the Llanowar Elves. Pass the turn. Yeah, I wonder if we'll see more... God Lord. My goodness. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I think our opponent has this one. My God. Well, apparently if you just have 3-mana rests multiple times in the... multiple times. You need Wrath on turn 3, Wrath on turn 4, Wrath on turn 5, all for 3 mana, and you got him. We found the answer. Just draw every 3-mana Wrath in existence. I actually think that's... I don't actually think those decks necessarily just handle it, though. I think it's... We've had bad hands, right? Like, we have not had a great hand with the deck yet. These have all been, like, pretty mid, like, mulligan, not good hands. And then we haven't drawn any counter spells, either. We have been able to Shrine deck. The problem I have with Shrines is I'm not sure what you do with them in... We only have 5 of them in Standard. There's not enough... Intimidation tactics. There's not enough to really build a Shrine deck, so I haven't figured out a good plan for building around them yet. So all that to say, yes, I imagine we will build around them. But other than just you play all the shrines, I haven't really found what the gimmick is yet. I think Avatar is a very strong set. Yeah, pound it. Deep Cavern, man. All right, pound it. Got all the disruption. Well, all right. Untap land. Paw Patch Recruit with a baby. And keep on attacking. Oh, put it. Final Fantasy or Avatar stronger for Standard? I think Avatar. I think Avatar is a stronger Standard deck. Found it. Unstoppable Slasher. That is kind of annoying. Gets in, hits us. Well, there's a Badgermole Cub. Doesn't really do anything at the moment, but it exists. And past the turn, man, we needed that Aboroid that our opponent got with the bat. Iroh, the Spellslinger Iroh or the Donate Iroh? Found it. Getting in. I mean, I guess we just chump the Slasher? Final Fantasy was a very good draft. Maybe the Shrine Doppelgang could work, although they are all legendary. So I guess you could reuse their Enters trigger, potentially, which would be funny. But you'd only get to keep one of each on the battlefield still. But yeah, Shrines is still on the list. I just haven't figured out exactly what we're supposed to do with it. Well, play Druneth. And, I mean, I guess we just swing with everything. Found it down to 10. Found it gonna turn on their Soulstone Sanctuary? Sure. Found it. Combat. Attacks with everything. Well, we'll block the Slasher. Did Splunking rotate? Splunking is still in Standard. We still got it. Mirror Box is not in Standard anymore. Found it. Arch enemies charm to gain life with the Soulstone Sanctuary. Well, another Druneth. I don't know why that's nice. It doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, I was hoping people would play the new bear. Like, I thought that might make things better for shrines, but apparently people still just play the same old, same old. So I guess we just put a ton of stuff in front of there. That doesn't feel great. But we got to do it, I guess. All right, sure. Sure. I think the opponent just thinks it's funny to do what they killed. What are that? So maybe that's what they were going for. Oh, I'm excited to play the new lessons with the old learn cards in Pioneer. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Do you have any deck ideas yet, Labrador? The synergies are cool. The learn cards themselves are pretty mid by Pioneer standards, so I think that's going to be the challenging part. But I think it'll be sweet. Like the stuff you can tutor up is super powerful now. I remember the 2-drop. There's a 2-drop white creature, 2-drop 1/2 white creature with learn. That one's actually kind of reasonable. Divide by 0 was the best one. There's a 1-mana 1/1 flyer in black that when it dies you learn. That one's pretty good. I don't even know if we want the counters. Spyglass Siren does stop a bat, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna run it like that. We're not gonna try to fight their stuff. Poet's Quill never really made it, did it? I feel like that one was close. Ooh, blood on the snow. Yeah. This hand doesn't really do anything. Oh, we have 1 mana. We don't have any blue mana for this. So we turn 1 Llanowar. Then they kill it, that we never play anything again. If you're planning to build shrines, I advise you to go Salt-Eye. Ooh, why Salt-Eye, Tuka? Oh, magic gods! Alright, that hand is stone unplayable. Alright. Well, this hand is not great. This hand is glass cannony as a hand can be. Well, Llanowar Elves. We might be scooping here shortly. Found it. And intimidation tactics. Takes a Badgermole Cub. Well, we'll play a Llanowar Elves. We'll play a Breeding Pool. We will hit you for 1. Down to 19. Opponent land. And Ruthless Negotiations. The deck seems bad. Nah, I think you're just seeing the bad variance and some good running for our opponent. That shit down to 17. Found it. Unstoppable Slasher. Well, I guess we play another Innkeeper's Talent. Level up in Innkeeper's
Hey Seth, I have another 1-minute video for you that you will enjoy, I hope, if you can spare the time. And if you do watch it, I have just one question for you after XD.
Okay. So, Christina, thank you so much for the new donation, $50 donation. I have another 1-minute video for you that I hope you enjoy, if you can spare the time. All right, Deathmark. When did they put Deathmark into Standard? Or what we might be seeing is people are just like, apparently dedicating their entire deck to hating on our deck. That might also be the... that might also be the description of what we've seen these last couple games. Deathmark is, if you look at the meta, that is a aggressive choice. Because dead card, dead card, dead card, dead card, dead card, Sword Alive, dead card, dead card, dead card. It's narrow. It is narrow. Where's your video, Christina? Thank you so much for the donation, by the way. Seems like a best. I think I feel so bad because we have just not seen. We've seen 3 matches where, well, we beat the control deck, right? But we've seen the last 2 matches. I really think it's a combination of of our deck not running especially well, and our opponents just having the perfect answers. Let me see, Christina. See, like, mathematically, you should have, like, if you pull up the hypergeometric calculator, so if you're playing a 60 card deck and you have 8 of a thing, and you get a 7 card opener and you want one of them, the odds of having one are about 65%, right? So you mathematically having a 1-drop into Badgermole Cub or the Jackal thing is pretty likely, but we just have it, and now we have the only Verge hand with what would be a good hand, but because of the bad mana in Standard, and now we end up with this hand, which is not a playable hand. So I think we're just seeing like the low rolls of Magic variants, bonus Storm Chaser talent. Do you feel that Earthbending land need to return to the battlefield? If the land just died, do you think Badgermole would be more fair? Oh, if the land just died, no one would ever play Earthbending ever. Maybe in Commander, and then even then, I don't think you would ever do it. But it would be really, really bad. It would basically be just stone unplayable, I believe. Found it. I'm gonna get in with the Badgermole Cub. Well, we will run out this Flood Pit Strouder. Tap down a Fear of Isolation. Take our beats. Play a land, draw another land. Play a Drunith. Play Spyglass Siren ×2. Hit you with the Flood Pit Strouder. I don't think 21 lands is too few, because you have a million mana dorks, right? So I think that it's fine. Opponent gonna Grim Bobble, because you don't want to. I mean, maybe 22. I could see an argument for 22. Maybe this build isn't very good either. That's also possible. Flood Pit's Drowner, eh? Well, play the Flood Pit's Drowner. Tap down the Fear of Isolation. Crack a map. Don't really want to land over elves. Play the land. Crack a map. We will keep an Innkeeper's talent. Hit ya, hit ya. Down to 14. Pass the turn. But the thing is, though, like, so my concern would be, Tuca, with the shrines. Are they good enough if you only have 3? Like, because there's only one of each color in Standard, right? So if you're in Sultai, I mean, maybe it would still be good. Like, your best possible Spirit Oasis is a 3-mana, draw 3, discard 1. Meh. That's like sorcery speed, like worst Painful Truce. Northern Air Temple, I guess max drains for 3. I guess ramping for 3 for 4 is still legit good. But that would be my concern, is like, if you can't actually stack up a bunch of them on the battlefield, are they going to be powerful? So I almost feel like you have to be 5 color, just like almost by default, you have to be 5 color with shrines. Because the cool thing with shrines is getting a whole bunch of them on the battlefield. So that would be my concern. Oh, being legendary, yeah. If they were non-legendary, then it would be a very different equation. Well, I guess we grow the Innkeeper's talent on the Spyglass. Opponent, nowhere to run. Triggers Prowess. Yeah, we're not coming back from there. Them being legendary definitely hurts. All right, let's look at this video from Christina. Let's see. So we're Reflections of Ajara, Sammy's Curiosity, Colossal Dreadmaw ×2, yeah. And then for are we just seeing how many Colossal Dreadmaws we can make? Quilled Great Worm. Oh, that is pretty funny. Ooh, Earthshaker Dreadmaw. Wait, we're breaking it up now. We're breaking it up to draw more Dreadmaws. That is, I will say, that is the most colossal Dreadmaws I've seen on the battlefield at once. That is the most. Also, a lot of extravagant replications. Wait, this is a different deck. Wait a minute. Wait, where'd the Dreadmaws go? I'm so confused. Where's the Dreadmaws? Oh, we're doing a little aggro at the end. That was sweet. That was hilarious. The music was great. It does remind me a little bit. It does remind me a little bit of Phil. I can see a little bit of Phil in there. Do we want to change anything against this deck? Hey, what's up, dear Michello? How are you? Good to see ya. Yeah, that was good. That was very good. What's your channel again? If people want to follow it, do you post often? Favorite Steely Dan album? I don't really like Steely Dan. Maybe should I like Steely Dan? Are they good? I could not even name a Steely Dan song to you, honestly. I know that there's some that I've heard from like the radio at one point or another, but I could not actually even name one. That's the kind of music I keep wanting to send you to check out, but then I remember I'm a weirdo who listens to all kinds of music all the time. Like the metal style. I don't mind some metal. I like some metal. I think we just do it this way. I think we just Spyglass Siren, and then next turn we can play this and double it. Does this have Defender? What does this actually do? 0-2 base power. Okay, so we can still put counters on it, right? So it does something. Innkeeper's Talent. Well, I guess we'll keep the Innkeeper's Talent. Boom. You actually grew our Llanowar Elf for us. Thank you, opponent. How many games did it take you to do the Max Dreadmaw thing? Well, let's play the Drunreth. Play the Gene Polluter. Get two of them. Go to combat. Hit you. Down to 18. Island for our opponent. And passes. How much do we worry about counters from this deck? This deck usually can't afford to play many counters. So I guess we just Aboroid. And opponent scoops it up. 35 matches, 8 wins. Okay, that sounds about right. 860, 24, 32. So that'd be around 20% win percentage. Yeah, that sounds like a solid against odds win percentage. My running joke is that if there are 9 string guitars and double bass kick drums and no basses because bass guitar in the same octave as the guitars, I don't want it. that sounds about right. 9 if it doesn't have 9 string guitars. Oh, you want that. So you like the metal, Mega Magikarp? I don't mind. Metal isn't something I listen to a lot, but I can appreciate a good metal song. Is there a WotC stream today? Probably nothing that I'm planning on watching. I don't think it's anything. They're probably, I don't know, opening avatar packs or something. But yeah, there's no like spoilers or anything like that today. All right, well, I mean, we got a Llanowar, a Badgermole Cub, and or Orboroid, and a lot of lands. Well, Llanowar, we go. That is an above average Dreadmaw deck. That is true. For being a full-on Dreadmaw deck, that's a very good win percentage. Found it. Nowhere to run. Yup. Well, play the land. Play the Badgermole Cub. Turn on a land. Are you going to read the Lorwyn Eclipse story as it releases? I don't know. Normally I don't. Should I? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's worth it? Also, have you noticed Wizards lately? They've been all about this. Opponent picks up nowhere to run. Replays nowhere to run. Boomerang Basics pretty good. Well, hopefully this Paw Patch Recruit will make those shenanigans a little more annoying. Paw Patch Recruit with a baby. Go. I have kind of trained my... It's so funny, because Wizards always, lately, when people are like, oh, we want more magic. You know, too much Universes Beyond. We need more magic. Wizards go to... Good Lord. My God. But Wizards' go-to is always saying something to the extent of, oh, we're making a movie. We're making a movie. Don't worry, the Strixhaven story is coming back. We're going to publish a story with Strixhaven. That's always their go-to answer. And I think that kind of misses the point, because I sort of wrote off Magic novels and stories like a decade ago. Like... we have reached... Oh, this is kind of hilarious. Wow. I think we've seen the entire meta just decide that they are going to build their deck in a way that that is just playing all sideboard cards to fight against Badgermole Cub. It's kind of hilarious. Yeah, it's kind of actually wild, just the amount of hate that people are playing. I mean, I would say it seems like everyone has came to the same conclusion that Badgermole Cub is the most broken card in Standard, and in the last day, everyone has decided that they are going to just overload their deck to try to fight against this deck. So I think we've just seen like the entire meta. Like it's kind of hilarious how many hate pieces are. So maybe the next level of the meta is not to hate on Badgermole Cub. It's to hate on decks trying to hate on Badgermole Cub, and then we end up in the position where your meta is defined by Badgermole Cub in a very weird way. But I think that's basically where it's at. Here, let's give it one more try with this other version. This version is from yesterday from the challenge. So let's see if that changes anything. But it is like amazing, just even compared to a day or two ago, just like the amount of hate that people are playing for this deck is, wow, over the top. I mean, I think that green has sucked for a long time, so if you're going to put your power into a color, I think it makes sense to put that power into green, because green has just been so bad. Drawing a land there would have been spectacular. But I guess we have to do it this way, which is way less spectacular. If we untap next turn, it's great with the Badgermole Cub. If we had a land, we could have followed it up with 2 more 1-drops, and we'd just be in a spectacular place. Opponent gets in with the Cecil. Hits us down to 16. They're to mirror, so they should have removal here. Opponent. Yeah, opponent does have removal here. And starting town and passes. Well, played runneth. And pass the turn. Oh, no. This deck had failed every game. I'm not sold on Badgerball. Oh, but, man, you got to look at the games, Labrador. You got to look at the games. Seriously. Like, you gotta actually look at how we're running here. I think you have to take that into consideration, that we are just, like, now we're not drawing lands. I feel like this is one of those, like, you know how Magic goes. There's, like, so much variance in the game. that in a 4 or 5 game sample size, stuff like this can happen. Where like, now if we just draw another land, we're so far ahead. But this game, we have not been able to draw a land. And then when we don't need to draw land, we do draw land. It's just magic. It's magic. Hey Seth, I made this waterbend deck that I think you'd like and possibly do much better. Ooh, let me see. Opponent getting in, gonna hit us. We will take it out to 14. Well, now we draw land. Well, I guess we play another one of these. And then a Tyvar? I mean, for being stuck on 2 lands, not a bad board for turn, what, 3, 4? And opponent scoops it up. Blink Convoke, eh? Ooh. I mean, I do like Secret's Spirit Water Revival. This looks sweet. Water Tribe Rallier. Oh, it's that thing. The digger. Yeah, I haven't played with Water Tribe Rallier yet. Yeah, it looks fun. Kind of like blue-white tokens. Why Thousand Moon Smithy? Thousand Moon Smithy is the only card that stands out as looking weird to me. Because we don't really have ways to... Yeah. We don't have ways to flip it, do we? I guess we'd flip it with a bunch of clues and maps, maybe? That looks sweet, though. Have you done any mind slaving? Have you actually managed to mind slave anyone? The opponent's playing Dimir. Dimir. What do we want against Dimir? I mean, Sapsunin seems like a good engine if we can get it down. We don't really have an answer to our opponent just ramping out a Planeswalker, but Nature's Rhythm. See, this wasn't another version of the deck. Nature's Rhythm, maybe just being able to snag what we need might be worth it. Yeah, it's a cool looking deck. Hey, what's up, Cat Cam fan? How are you? Good to see you. Cease is doing well. Bear's here somewhere. He's been wandering around. That's a Zero Lander. Hey, we'll try this. Yeah, let's try it. We'll try the Klusak deck in a minute. I got a whole long one for you. Going to do it in 2 messages. Are you familiar with the phrase using every part of the buffalo, as in not letting anything go to waste? Yes, I have heard the phrase using every part of the buffalo. Let's play the Gene Pollinator. Yeah, it's been showing up in the airbending combo decks too as a way to find the combo pieces. Well, I mean, probably gonna get countered, but play the Badgermole Cub. Opponent going to run out a Flood Pit Drowner, right? So not a counter, but tap down the Gene Pollinator. Well, we'll turn on the land, pass the turn. Hey Seth, I got used to playing Simic before Avatar. Is it worth getting Cubs, or are they going to get banned? I mean, we're in week 1 of Standard, so I think it's too early to say anything's going to get banned. I do think Badgermole Cub is probably the strongest Standard card from Avatar. Well, let's play Drunith and run out another Gene Pollinator. We could have played the Boroid. I think this is better to get more bodies out. Opponent's going to play Tishana's Tidebinder. Well, I guess that's another reason to weigh down the Boroids. Well, get down the polluter. Pass the turn. Found it on taps. They're all the same. They're all the same price on Arena, though. But yes, in paper, they're ridiculously expensive. I mean, it was one of the best cards in Modern over the weekend at all the RCs. It's showing up in Legacy. This is an interesting turn. So we get to a Boroid. I think we're just going all in. Like, if we die as a result of this, that's kind of fine. We're going to go for it. We're just going to double a Boroid. Double Boroid. Grow the dorks, grow the dorks. Pass the turn. So, opponent, kill us if you can, because if not, we are going to have an insane amount of power next turn. Found it. Going to crack a map. Finds a land. It's a watery grave. Yeah, Appa's been like super spiking. Well, I mean, we're going to block here. And opponent, a little dead. All right. All right. Maybe that's good enough. I wish the deck started off with a more impressive performance. But maybe that's good enough to see how. Maybe instead I convince you all that Badgermole Cub isn't that good. All right, so here's my issue. No one I expect an answer for so much as how to deal with it. Wait. So here's my issue. Not one I expect an answer for so much as how to deal with it. I have this deck. It's a blink deck. The problem is there's no good Abzan blink commander, so using the partner pair makes the most sense. It makes me feel like I'm using clue synergies. It makes me feel like I have to use clue synergies, like the dork that lets my tokens tap for green stuff. If I do more ETB stuff, I'll feel like I'm wasting clues. What do you do? So, there's a very easy answer to this, Mega Magic Carp. The answer to that is, commanders are overrated. And this is my personal style of building commander decks. As someone who got into commander from playing 60 card formats, but I am perfectly fine with building literally my entire 99 the way I want it, and then going to look for a commander and picking a Tagatog because I think it's cool and then never casting it. So I think it's a perfectly legitimate way to build a commander deck. I think it is perfectly legitimate to not actually build around the commander. And I don't think you should have to feel pressure to do the thing that your commander says. If you want to just build like a deck that doesn't have a good commander, just play whatever commander you like that are in the colors. And just like, a commander deck doesn't need the commander to synergize, to make the deck powerful or to make it work. Like, if anything, sometimes it can be a trap and people get too locked into recasting their commander when it's 14 mana because it's already died 5 times or something. So if I wanted to do that, my take would be, I would probably just like pick some other commander that's an Abzan and that you enjoy playing and just kind of write off the commander as being a main part of the deck. So I would just like look at other Abzan commanders that don't pressure you into going a certain direction. So I would just, we can pull up Scryfall. Or pull up EDH Rec. I'm actually curious if we look at the commanders from Abzan, like what would I pick to be the commander of that deck? So this is like it's a blink deck, right? Like Siege Rhino. The deck looks sweet. It reminds me of a deck I would play in like Standard forever ago. It does look fun. So you have death synergies. What about like graveyard synergies? What about just like something that gets things back from the graveyard? But that's probably what I would do. Oh my god, okay. This might be, if we draw a payoff, this might be the game that convinces people that Badgermole Cub is actually disgusting. Because, I mean, just look at the, like, play a Badgermole Cub. We turn on the Verge. Now it makes 2 mana. We play another Badgermole Cub. We turn on the Forest. So now we're untapping on turn 3 with 3, 6, 9, 10 mana at a minimum. I mean, this could be, we don't have it, but it would be turn 3 Crater Hoof win the game, right? Like, that's kind of ridiculous. Our opponent plays a Zaz Chocobo. Two of them. That sounds like cheating. And then a land to grow them. Oh my god, that's Nature's Rhythm. Okay. Well, we will play a land, untapped. So we need, what, 6 mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nature's Rhythm. If we had Hoof in the deck, we actually could just Hoof right now. Nature's Rhythm for 4. This is turn 3. This is turn 3. Remember that. We're playing Standard, and this is turn 3. These are the kind of games that happen when I play against the deck every time. Like, you play a couple of things, and then your opponent's just like, oh, Badgermole Cub, Badgermole Cub. A Bororoid, Crater Hoof. Okay, we finally got a good one. So yes, we'll just take a Bororoid. And then we will play a Gene Pollinator. And then we can kick a Paw Patch Recruit. And all right. I think that's our turn 3. Pretty good. Could have used another Aboroid. All right, grow the dorks. So what do we end turn 3 with? We end turn 3 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 creatures. 2, 4, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 power. And I don't even want to count the mana. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 mana. Not bad. Swing for 0 for this 88th month. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. My good sir, what editing software do you use for editing videos? I just use Premiere from Adobe Premiere. I know there's other good options. I think I like Adobe. It's a little expensive if you have to buy it yourself, like the subscription. Thankfully, we have a subscription through like Goldfish, so I don't have to buy it myself. That's only downside is I think to get everything, it is like kind of costly on a per month basis, but it is like pretty good at what it does. Is Standard just an infinite garbage time? My theory is that Magic is Yu-Gi-Oh now. My theory really is. I became convinced of this. I've heard good things about Da Vinci too. We're gonna switch to the Clusac deck after this, by the way. We're not just gonna keep playing the Simic deck. I just wanted to show off the crazy starts that it could get because I wasn't sure if people do, but we are gonna switch and play the other deck. But I think that how I'm viewing kind of Magic in general right now. Did any of you watch all the RCs over the weekend, all the Modern tournaments? Like, Modern is super healthy. Like, just objectively, it is super healthy. If you look at the metagame, it's really diverse. You have a bunch of different playable options. You have a bunch of different, like, playable archetypes. So, by any, like, kind of objective measure, I would say that Modern's super healthy. But I also saw, like, most of the decks are essentially just trying to, like, do their thing and kill you on turn 3 or turn 4, essentially, or, like, as fast as they can. But in general, they're, like, trying to ignore what you're doing, and I'm just going to do my thing, and my thing's going to be better than your thing and faster than your thing. And I think that's kind of just, like, kind of where we are at the moment in general. I think that this deck in Standard is an example of that. We're not really trying, in Standard, like, there are other archetypes, or you do have, like, control decks on occasion, but I think a lot of Standard decks are kind of like that too, where where you're just kind of like, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to stick a big Quantum Riddler. I'm going to try to, like, reanimate Bringer of the Last Gifts. I'm going to play Cosmic Grand Zenith and make a bunch of tokens. And I just hope my thing is better than, an opponent scooped it up, is better than your thing. So I think that, I would say it's kind of the Yu-Gi-Oh-ification of Magic to some extent. And I think it's just, like, power creep, maybe? Like, as cards get more powerful, I'm not sure. I'm curious if there's Yu-Gi-Oh players here, how Yu-Gi-Oh players actually do this, or Yu-Gi-Oh the game does this, because I feel like the answer is like the threats keep getting better and better and better, and that incentivizes you to play the really good threats, and then you end up with like everyone plays the good threats and just tries to kill each other. How do they do that in Yu-Gi-Oh? Hey, what's up, Stone Rain? How are you? We had a question about Star Wars Unlimited earlier, and I thought of you, Stone Rain. I thought of you. It really is the Phil Commander theory, right? It is Phil's Commander theory. I don't think it's like, I don't know if it's a bad thing. So I think part of the challenge is, and I think this is more modern than standard, and we'll see if it applies to standard too. But so yes, what you would think is, okay, so if everyone's going to do this, I will punish them by doing the opposite, right? So if everyone's just going to try to do these goldfish, like, I'm going to just play my deck and I'm going to do my big thing. I'm going to make a ton of artifacts. I'm going to pop off with Corey Steelcutter. I'm going to snowball Ocelot Pride. I'm going to Amulet Titan, shenanigans. If everyone's just trying to, like, goldfish into their kill, then you play, like, the control deck and punish that. But I feel like the threats are so diverse that makes it really challenging. Because, like, you have to build your control deck in a way that can account for the Amulet Titan land plan, but also take account for Quantum Riddler scam, like blinking Quantum Riddler and having this massive card advantage flyer on turn 3. But it also has to be able to deal with a huge flood of just artifacts, just making 1,000,000 artifacts on turn 1. So I feel like it pressures from so many different directions, right? That it actually makes it a little harder than it sounds to build a control deck that actually accounts for all of those different plans. Because it's not like every deck is doing the same thing. It's just that every deck is very fast and linear. And I shouldn't say every, because it's not literally every deck, but many decks are very fast and linear. So I think that's just kind of the era of Magic that we're living in at the moment. Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a bunch, because that's what I was going to say. Like, I think maybe we need better interaction. And I know it's so funny. The other way to look at this is not to compare it to other games, but maybe we're just seeing the Commanderification of 60 card formats. Because whoever said, it sounds like how Phil plays Commander, I think you're right. And I think that's how a lot of people play Commander. And I've always made the argument about Commander, because people always say this about Commander. You can beat anything, just play more removal, right? Play more sweepers in your Commander deck. But I don't think that's how most people want to play Commander. We saw that. I don't know if you saw the Commander Clash, the Avatar Commander Clash. The Avatar Commander Clash, the game ended up being probably a 3-hour game, and I thought it was a very good game. Everyone packed a ton of interaction, so it was a game where every threat was really dealt with. There was, plenty of interaction, so no one could really get super far ahead. And it ended up being, I think I ended up winning on, turn super late in the game eventually. But I don't know if most people actually, if that's the Commander experience they want. And that makes me wonder if this is the Commanderification of 60 card formats. The easy answer is print more cheap interaction, right? Bring Fatal Push into Standard, or Swords to Plowshares, or Lightning, maybe not Lightning Bolt because it hits face, but bring more like cheap interaction into Standard. But then I don't know if people would enjoy that, because then if the interactive decks are too good and everyone's playing Control, then people are going to complain about that. So it might just be an unsolvable problem. Do you think Lightning Bolt would be too good? Lightning Bolt scares me just because it hits face. Like, that's the part of Lightning Bolt. And a reminder that if you need some Magic cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. I mean, Force of Will really holds Legacy together, right? Like, the free interaction is what allows what should be the most degenerate format in Magic to actually sometimes be one of the most fair formats in Magic, as weird as that sounds. I do think that better interaction, it's so tough. I think that's like a good answer, is more interaction, and interaction that keeps up with the power creep of the threats. But then I do have that worry that if we go that direction and we end up in a standard, like, I don't think people would live through a control standard these days. When was the last time we had, like, an actual format where an honest to goodness control deck was at the top of the meta? I feel like it's been, I mean, maybe the Ulrun's Epiphany deck. Am I forgetting one before that? That would be what, 2021? When they banned Divide by Zero because Alrun's Epiphany. I mean, I guess it was a little combo-y with extra turn spells, but I don't think people would survive. I don't know if people would survive, like, Sphinx's Revelation era control. Like, true Drago, even a lot of the control decks these days are not even really true Drago control decks. Like, the amount of counters they're playing is relatively low compared to what I think of as, like, a traditional Drago control deck. But I'm not sure people would enjoy it. Like, would you be happy with that? What if we ended up in a meta where instead of Dimir being the number one deck, or Simic, or whatever, Rakdos midrange, what if we ended up with Jeskai control being, 20-30% of the meta? Would people be happier or sadder? And I actually think that the average Magic player would be sadder. As weird as that sounds, right? Like, as weird as that sounds, I think Magic players, especially people who play Commander and are getting into 60 card formats, maybe they prefer a format where it's just like, I do my thing, you do your thing, and we'll see whose thing is better. Because that's kind of what Commander is a lot of the time, right? Is everyone does their thing, hopefully everyone gets a chance to pop off, and then someone pops off the hardest and they win. Control being a top deck would prevent new players from converting to regulars. Yeah, that's what I'd worry about, right? If the goal is, like, Commander is the biggest format, and the goal is to get some of those Commander players to be standard players or modern players, I don't know if making it more controlling is the way to get those players to do it, because that just seems against how most people play Commander. The Airsign Blue Control Elixir, Drownyard Temple, or no, Nephalia Drownyard. The Crim Classic. I will mill you for 3 with my land for 12 turns in a row until you have 0 cards left as I kill all your stuff. Oh, classic. It's just wild how much Magic is. Man, if you think of the history of it, just how much it has changed over the years. Because I think in the early days of Magic, the interaction was insane. You're printing mana drain at uncommon back then. I guess you had mana burn, but, like, the interaction was absurd and the threats sucked. And now, like, 32 years later, the threats are absurd and the interaction, I wouldn't say it sucks, but I definitely think it's, how you see those graphs where you see the graphs on the internet where it's like, oh, how over the last 50 years, how much more money companies are making versus how much your wages have gone up. And it's like, the company line is just, like, going straight up to the sky, and your line is, like, barely bouncing around, like, slightly went up, like one of those. I feel like that's in Magic, like, threats versus interaction over Magic's history. The threats just, like, straight up in the air, and then interaction has gotten, it's gotten better. It's doing it, but it's like, it's barely bumping along, slightly higher than it was, 50 years ago. Listening to this discussion, I sincerely hope Wizards comes out with classic Magic and just resets going back to simpler designs that feel more like OG Magic, where the game is designed to be interactive and building boards full. Oh, we gotta restart. We're gonna restart and then we're gonna play this Clue deck. See if this Clue Sack deck works. I mean, I think Control is actually, I don't know if you want Control to be the literal number one deck in the meta, but I do think a healthy meta has a Control deck that is top tier. At least tier 2. Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, Cut Down was actually policing the format. It might have actually been. But it's so funny because if you go back a year, I remember a year ago, Kibler making a video talking about how Cut Down was actually pushing things out of the format. And that was actually part of the problem with why there was so much of these, like, aggro decks, was that it was pushing out so many cards from the format. It's tough. Still, when it comes down to it with Standard, I still think we just want less cards. Yeah, I actually cleaned up the desktop. Spoiler season's over. The desktop gets a clean in. I feel like less cards is just the easiest solution. Just less cards in Standard. Also, I don't know if you realize this. I was thinking. So I was thinking the other day, I told you how I realized that I want a Badgermole Cub into doubling season and then play Planeswalkers, but I was looking at the meta and I realized there's not really that much Planeswalker removal that's seen play in Standard right now, especially compared to, if you've been playing for a while, you remember metas where like Hero's Downfall was the #1 removal spell, like literally the most played card or very close to it in the entire format. So we used to have like some formats where Planeswalker removal was everywhere. Your Planeswalker's just always dying. We're in a meta now where, yeah, you see Get Lost on occasion. Like, that sees play. Some of the red burn can hit Planeswalkers. Black has Bitter Triumph, which is part of the removal package. Maybe not the most played one. But there's not that much Planeswalker removal. And I realized, I had this epiphany, it's because of Universes Beyond. It's because of Universes Beyond. Because Wizards has talked about how Universes Beyond doesn't get Planeswalkers, right? Planeswalkers are a magic thing. They're only a magic thing. So I was thinking, wait, so does this mean that because we don't get Planeswalkers in Universes Beyond, we don't get Planeswalker removal in Universes Beyond? And I think that's true. If you look at Standard, I was doing this earlier. If you look at Standard and just look for cards that say Planeswalker, have Planeswalker in the text, none of them are from Universes Beyond sets. Like, anything that refers to a Planeswalker, and I guess we don't have that many Universes Beyond sets, but if you combine that with Wizards saying that we don't get Planeswalkers in Universes Beyond, I think that carries down to the actual removal. Like, as far as I can see, none of the Universes Beyond sets have the word Planeswalker in them, like even in a removal spell. So I think that's one of the weird, like, unintended consequences of Universes Beyond Standard. It's very interesting. I'm very, very curious to see where all this shakes out. MTG is a complex game that adds new pieces constantly. The meta will never be stable, so there will always be convos of what should be done. It's a tough job. They do pretty well. I think in general that's true. I think in general, historically over the course of Magic's life, I think they've done a very good job at that. Right now, I worry that there's so many alternate pressures from Commander and from Hasbro and from Universes Beyond and other IP holders that maybe 60 card formats get a little overshadowed, if that makes sense. Where they're just not the focus like they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And maybe that's just, what's best for the most Magic players, because most Magic players play Commander now. So maybe it makes sense that you wouldn't focus that much on Standard at this point, but Cut Down made green a non-color. Yeah, but now Badgermole Cub. Anyway, let's play this deck. I want to try this deck. So this deck, it's a sack deck, but it's kind of a different take on a sack deck where yes, we're sacking creatures. Yes, we have Sephiroth as our finisher. Yes, we got stuff like Infestation Sage. But what we're really built around are these 2 enchantments from Avatar, in Obsessive Pursuit and Toils of War. So Toils of War, when it enters, you get a clue. And when you sack a permanent during your turn, you get a 1/1 ally token once a turn. And then Obsessive Pursuit, when it enters or at the beginning upkeep, you lose a life and get a clue. And when you attack, you put X+1/+1 counters on an attacking creature, where X is the number of permanents you've sacked this turn. If it's 3 or greater, it also gets lifelink this turn. So essentially, Black Prophesitic Memory, and this is just a token engine, but if we add these together, we can do some pretty cool things, where we make these clues that we can sack to Umbral Collar Zealot. When we sack a clue, we get an ally token, and then we can sack to trigger something like Sephiroth or Popular Egotist. If we have a Scavenger's Talent, we also get a food token that we can sacrifice. So we get this weird value-y clue engine loop going, and then eventually we get to start putting tons of counters on whatever with Obsessive Pursuit to make our threats really big. Or eventually we can Foggy Swamp Visions to just reanimate everything, sack the board, and win that way. So that's the idea of the deck. Is Clarion Conqueror a cool card now? I think it's on the upswing. Yeah, it might be too, like, that is my concern. It's so funny because it's two mana enchantments. But my concern of this deck is it might be too slow. I also love Popular Egotist. So the idea was, if we reanimate everything with Foggy Swamp Visions, this is like a Raise the Ancestors, in the sense that you get to reanimate a ton of things, but you can't attack with them. So we need to make sure, if we reanimate everything with Foggy Swamp Visions, that we can win right away. Sephiroth's legendary, so I was worried if we reanimated a bunch of stuff and sacked it all with just a Sephiroth, since we can only have one, we might not be able to win the game. So Popular Egotist is like uncommon backup Sephiroth for the big, like, combo turn with Foggy Swamp Visions. I will say one of my concerns, yeah, this is kind of, that's what it reminds me of too, is like the hidden stockpile decks. Unfortunately, we don't have Anointed Procession. Should we play a token doubler? Do you think it's worth it? When I think of the hidden procession decks, I think of Anointed Procession. I wonder if it's worth trying to add Elspeth. Trying to add something like Elspeth or Exalted Sunborn. Maybe Elspeth's 5 mana, but it is powerful. That would make it even more like the old hidden stockpile decks. Elspeth may be a better finisher than Sephiroth. Yeah, it doesn't really win with the reanimation plan. The tokens are nice though. You know what? Maybe let's try a couple Elspeths. What do we cut though? That's a problem. What can we cut? I feel like we can't cut an Egotist. I want the Foggy Swamp. These 2 cards are kind of the core of the deck. We can go down. Sandbent Scavengers is the card that I think, when it goes well, it can be incredibly powerful. But I think there's also games where it's actually like very bad. Very bad against bounce space removal, and very bad just on turn 2 when you don't have things set up. It's like a 2-drop that's at its best on turn 5 or 6 when you have like a bunch of pieces and you can sack a bunch of stuff right away. So maybe we go down 1 Scavenger talent, go down 1 Sandbend just get rid of Scavengers, cut some of the Scavengers, try a couple Elspeths. Let's try it like that. Yeah, I thought that the Angel Exalted Sunborn would be good, and we haven't really seen it take off yet, but I still think sooner or later, like 2 mana for an Anointed Procession for a turn has got to be able to do something. Sir Vondam? Yeah. Sir Vondam, the only thing about Sir Vondam is it doesn't really care about us sacrificing the clues. It only cares about creatures in specific. Maybe it's still worth it. Like, maybe it's worth it over the other removal in the deck. But let's try it like that. Let's try a game like this, and then we'll update it. We'll update it. Yeah, the Speed Legend I found just to be too slow. It just takes too long to hit max speed. It's so good if you get to max speed. But I'm not sure we get to max speed consistently enough. Especially, like, the problem is it's a card you kind of want to play as like a 1-of. And if you're playing it as a 1-of, you really can't get your speed build up before you get it. And then once you get it, you need 4 more turns, and it's kind of slow, or 3 more turns. So it's a card that would be good, but it doesn't play as good as it looks. Yeah, that seems fine. What have you all been playing lately? Oh boy. Oh no. We should have, I told you, chat, we should have played the anti-Badgermole Cub deck. I thought we were safe because we didn't play against it at all. And now we're going to get Badgermole Cubbed. Oh, how's Popper? How's Popper these days? Oh, it's Chocobo. Okay. Found it. Doing some landfall shenanigans. I really want to try Pre-Modern. Pre-Modern's on my list. I think I'm going to make Richard play with me. Do it for a video. Do you have Deathmark in your... No, we don't have Deathmark in our sideboard. Deathmark? Well, I think we just play a Voice of Victory. We might be able to flip a Sephiroth pretty quick this game. Pass the turn. Boy, that's Mossborn Hydra. Okay, that's concerning. Hey, what's up, Jay Slimy? How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Opponent. Fabled Pass. Oh, boy. All right, well, give us removal or give us Mossborn Hydra death. Opponent. Ooh, Pre-Modern Cube sounds fun. That's not removal. Well, we will play a Verge. I mean, I think all we can do is a Sephiroth stuff, right? Like, play the Sephiroth. I'm not sure this is even enough. Sack the Infestation Sage. Ooh, Foggy Swamp Vision. Trigger. Drain ya. Voice of Victory. Attack. Make some dorks. Trigger. Drain ya. But that is a really big trampler. Opponent blocks. Opponent blocks. I mean, we get to flip Sephiroth, which is pretty sweet. But this thing doubles to 8, doubles to 16, and that is a big problem. All right, Sephiroth flips. Emblem achieved. Come on, no land. If they don't have any lands, then we're kind of okay. Felidare retreat. Land. Doubles. Okay. Yeah. That's a 10 power Mossborn Hydra. I mean, we're close, but also very far. Can we live 2 more turns somehow? Wow, and they have a Bushwhack, okay. Well, we still have the emblem, but there goes the Sephiroth. Opponent gets in. Well, we got a chump. We drop to 15. I mean, if they have a land, we're dead. If they have a land, we're straight up dead. If they don't have a land, then maybe there's a chance. I mean, not a great chance, but some sort of chance with this Foggy Swamp Vision. Do you have land? Okay, Bristly Bill. Oh, they just want to play that before the land? All right. All right, opponent. So 20 power, 20, yeah, there's no way, right? 24 power? Yeah, we can't survive that. I mean, Tragic Trajectory works when you sack something. Get Lost works all the time. Huh. Hey, well, I guess we bring in Split Ups. Maybe the 0-point ballads? Go down. Yeah, I mean... Hide on the Ceiling works great against Badgermole Cub. Loop it and you're good. Wait, how do you loop? How do you loop Hide on the Ceiling? What's the loop card? Well, I guess we'll go down the Scavenger's talent. I guess Seamrip is fine. We might have to go 1 Elspeth. Elspeth's probably just kind of slow in this matchup. Maybe we go 2 0-points, 1 Split Up. Actually, is 0-point even good? Actually, 0-point may be worse because it doesn't kill the big stuff. Maybe we go 1. And then I guess we got to cut a Toils of War, unfortunately. Is Santa Olive making a return this year? I think so. Once we get a little closer to the holidays next month, I think we'll have Santa Olive around. Yeah, all right. I mean, we have a removal spell this time. I know you already built a deck, but I think Destined... I don't even know what Destined Confrontation is. What is Destined Confrontation? Destined Confrontation. 4 mana. Each player chooses any number of creatures they control with total power 4 or less. Then sacrifices all other creatures. I could see that being sweet in this deck. Because you can like keep the Sephiroth and sack everything else. That sounds pretty sweet. Well, let's get down. I could actually see trying that. I'm normally very skeptical of wraths that don't actually wrath everything. But maybe in this deck, it could actually be worth it. I could actually see an argument for it being worth it. What do you say your top 5 decks of the year are? That's a tough one. I think, so I will say, I haven't really thought about it. It's so challenging just because we play so many decks that it's hard for me even to remember every deck we played back in like April and May, because it's like 3 or 4 decks every week, even more than that sometimes. But I think there will be a video / article kind of going over that. We've played Lessons a bunch. Shrines, we have not played Shrines yet. Yeah, let's just sack a clue, see if we can hit our land drop. Grow the Scavengers. We did not hit our land drop. Well, all right, kill the Bristly Bill. Get in, hit ya. Start getting counters on things. Grow the Scavengers. Opponent down to 14. This is going a lot better than last game, that's for sure. Any fun plans for Thanksgiving? Got a bunch of like family stuff mostly. So got a bunch I gotta do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But yeah, gotta go to my mom's house for Thanksgiving dinner, stuff like that. On Saturday, it's my little sister's baby shower thing. So there's a bunch of family stuff going on this weekend. Has anyone actually built shrines in Standard? I'm actually curious. I think we can't win here, right? We can do a lot, but we can't win. Well, let's play Umbro Collar Zealot. Sack a clue. Mill the Obsessive Pursuit. Sack a clue. Mill an Infestation Sage. Sack a clue. I mean, we're seeing some of the synergies. This deck does have some sweet synergies. Mill the Seam Rip. Get Lost the Mossborn Hydra. Go to combat, hit ya. Scavengers, up to 9 power. And gain some life past the turn. Does your family know you were kind of famous? Yeah, I'm not even famous in my family, though. My little brother's more famous than I am. so yes, they know that I do magic content. I don't know if they totally grasp, but like what that means. But yeah, my little brother is like a basketball player, so he's the most famous one. I have a very interesting family. I have so many. There's nine kids in my family. I'm the oldest of nine children. It is true that most of my family calls me Saf. It's not Seth, it's Saf. So yeah, it's caught on. But yeah, I have a very interesting. All of my siblings are they do interesting things. He's playing professionally in Japan right now. Last year was his last year in college, and he played at Louisville. And before that, he played at BYU. And then this year, he didn't make it to the NBA, but he's playing pro over in Yamagata, Japan. He didn't want to do the G League. He said if he wasn't going to get drafted, he was just going to go overseas. He didn't really want to do the grind of the G League. The G League, they actually really don't pay you very much. The G League is actually like, I didn't really realize this, but compared to playing overseas, it's actually less profitable to play G League unless you're someone who's on like a 2-way contract, and like there are ways that it can be more profitable, but he actually thought it was just better for him to go play overseas professionally than try to do the G League thing. And plus it's like, I mean, if you're someone who likes traveling, it's also got to be super cool. Like the deal in Japan is like he's learning all the culture and stuff and driving on the other side of the road and all that kind of stuff. But it's like you get a car, you get an apartment, they pay you go over to Japan, you play basketball for 8 months, and then the next year you can go back to Japan. He might go to Europe next year if he wanted to. Like you can go play someplace else. So it's also kind of like, I don't know. He got married last year. Now he's traveling the world, getting to play, professional basketball. He's got a pretty sweet gig. Actually, I would hate it because I hate traveling. So it wouldn't be sweet for me because I don't enjoy that. But it's sweet. It's sweet if you like traveling. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good deal. Is it all 1-year contracts for Japanese basketball leagues? I am not sure. Actually. This is his first year playing there. I'm not sure if he just got a 1-year contract or if everyone's on 1-year contracts. But I know he was telling me it sounds like he's planning on staying in Japan, because the way that like international basketball works is you can only have 3 Americans on your team, because I guess you would just end up with entire teams that were full of they would basically be like teams of American college players who didn't make it to the NBA, but like your roster would just be no one from your actual country and all people from the US. So they have rules that you can only have like three Americans or 3 foreigners on your team. And then you can only have 2 on the court at the same time because they want to make sure that locals are also on the team and people from the country are on the team. But if you are in Japan for 5 years, you qualify as being Japanese as far as the league's concerned. So if you stay in Japan for at least 5 years, then it becomes even better for you, I guess, because you don't take up one of the foreigner slots on the team. And it makes it even easier for you to have a job. He's like, yeah, people, they play till they're like 40 over here. After you get, like, become Japanese according to the rules, then you can just, like, play here for the rest of your career, and it's awesome. So, yeah, I might actually, I think we're losing this game. We're so far behind. Man, every deck is, did we miss land drops? We didn't miss land drops this game, did we? No, we did miss land drops. We discarded to hand size and sacked a clue. All right. Yep. This deck feels like it runs on very tight margins. Like, this feels like a deck where if anything goes wrong, it's going to be really hard to make it go right again. Ooh, Cassius versus my brother. That'd be fun. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's horror stories from it too. I'm sure, but the good news is he's enjoying it. He's enjoying it, exploring Japan, playing some basketball. But yeah, I just have an interesting family. Krim just got back from Japan. Krim, I don't know if he told me this story. He just got back from Japan. The Krim life. We recorded the podcast yesterday at noon Eastern time. So I get up pretty early. It's like 6:30 when I was just getting up, and I wasn't sure if Krim was doing the podcast or not because he was coming back from. We're gonna try this with 2 obsessive pursuits. It's a lot of lands though. I wasn't sure if he had made it back or not. He was supposed to get back the day before, but he was worried about, oh my god, Badgermole Cub. See, we should be playing the Stax deck. Oh, we're dead. Watch. I'm telling you. Whenever we play against Badgermole Cub, I'm telling you. Yeah, Badgermole Cub. Uh-huh. Well, gets and hits us. We will play a Concealed Courtyard and an Obsessive Pursuit. And, yes, opponent untaps with infinite mana, and we should be playing the Stax deck. But Grim said, yeah, I'm doing the podcast. I just got home. Ugh, yeah. I know that's a quick scoop, but we're not coming back into this. Did you know that paper magic is starting to pick up traction in American prisons? I don't even know if it's I have seen some of the posts about that recently. I think it's been a thing from I remember seeing posts about that like 10 years ago where people talking about how they like made their own magic cards on toilet paper and they were like doing all these games of magic in prison. So yes, I have seen that. I don't know if it's exactly a new thing though. I use your brother as an example. My son loves basketball, of where basketball can take him. He loves Japan. And when I told him your brother was doing, he thought it was his dream. He's 5'10", age 12, so we're seeing how far he can take it while he enjoys it. Hey, that's awesome, Nerdageddon. Yeah, I mean, my brother he ended up being almost 7 foot, but I think he's like 6'11", or maybe actually, he's always says he's 6'11", but I think he's actually 7 foot. But he grew mostly in high school, so you just never know. Like, he was around 6 foot when he was getting into high school, and then ended up being 7 foot by the time he was going to college. So I went to Japan earlier this year and absolutely had the time of my life. I would abandon this country and go live there in a heartbeat if I could. US is such an expensive and scam country. Just one big MLM. Yeah, some of the stories my brother tells me about Japan is wild. Is just like, it's so clean and it's so quiet and like, so it just sounds so different. You sometimes just post random videos and like, it was like them taking their garbage out, and even the dumpster is just like spotless. I'm like, man, that is. If you ever seen a dumpster in America, you don't even want to look in there. You don't know what you're gonna find. But here, it's like everything is just like people like are just so. The culture is so different. But then he also does not like that you can't get processed foods. He wants his junk food. You can't get any junk food over there. Because apparently there's laws or whatever about processed foods. So you don't have as many options. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier, Jimmy the Hat. That, like, basically exactly that. You need either power down threats or power up removal. But if you're trying to get commander players into standard and you power up removal, they're not going to be happy because the commander players, in general, I think, in mass, don't really like removal. It's a tough spot. Oh, they just I guess preserve a lot of the preservatives that we use in our food here and don't think twice about are actually just banned. And I don't even think it's just Japan, but I think it's in like a lot of other countries. I think we might be the outlier there that we're like, yeah, that's fine. You can eat that, sure. When other countries are like, no guys, you really shouldn't eat that. Don't listen to the US and what they're eating. We're telling you. It is true that commander players really don't enjoy the removal. I think we just do Sephiroth here. Actually, let's do it post combat. It's less damage, but we get a draw. Let's get in with the Voice of Victory. Found it. Gonna block the Voice of Victory. Sephiroth. Sack a token, draw a card. Alright, another Voice of Victory. Opponent down to 17. Trigger. Down to 16. In Europe, American bread is dough products. It's not even allowed to be called bread. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Well, let's kill our Oberoid. Go to combat attack. Mobilize. Oh, how good is flipping Sephiroth? Is it worth I think it's worth sacking the Voice of Victory. Yeah, I think we do it. Let's sack the Voice of Victory. Land. Okay, we hit the land. That's big. Hit you down to 9. Play a land. Play a Sandbend Scavengers to benefit from the token sacking. Token sack. Triggers. Sephiroth flips. And opponent down to 7. And we might be good. We might be good. We might be good. Maybe we're going to make some Badgermole players sad after all. Opponent. Scavenging is. Okay, sure. I'm not sure that beats a Sephiroth. Gonna get the Voice of Victory. Yup. And crack the map. It's a balancing act, right? If you just push the removal too much, you might end up in a world where nothing sticks on the battlefield, which is also not fun. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I keep going back to the solution being just like less cards in standard, which I think would kind of like by default drop the power level of the format. But I think we win now, right? We get in with Sephiroth for 5, sack for 8. And opponent scoops it up, and that went pretty well. Reducing card pool size. That's true. I mean, we've definitely had broken blocks in the past. But I think that when you add more cards on top of power creep, then you end up with a standard that feels a little bit like what Modern used to feel like, almost. Like just the speed and the power of the format is so high. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they do with playtesting. I know it's hard. It definitely, that scares me with more cards and sets coming into standard and more years of cards in standard, because they're pretty upfront about how they generally don't test for eternal formats, and I don't know like how you even could for the most part. Like, how would you realistically test every interaction in a format like Legacy or even Modern? It would take a lot of manpower, and even then I don't know if it'd even realistically be possible. So you have that challenge on top of playtest, on top of just like the power creep. That's like, you want to make powerful, exciting cards. I don't know. The other thing I wonder if they just don't actually like, maybe I wonder where standard is in the grand scheme of Magic. Like, do you see a world where we revert to 2-year standard rotation? Yes, but probably not for another year or two. I think we're getting. I saw this video. I don't know how many of you watched the banning stream that Watsy did, like talking about the bannings. I don't know how many of you watched it, but they talked about like, well, like, yes, there's like, it's gonna be awesome, and this change going to 3-year standard, it actually makes it way better for our playtesting, because before we wouldn't know all the stuff that's coming out in the future, and this is actually going to make it way easier and better. And I think so we don't want to go back to, doing 2-year standard, because there's all these benefits to 3-year standard. And I think when it comes down to it, it's like a proof is in the pudding kind of thing, where essentially then show us a good 3-year standard. Like, if standard is just like super fun, I don't care if there's 10 years of sets in it or 2 years of sets in it, or if it rotates every year, every 5 years. Like, as long as the format's fun and healthy and people are enjoying it and people are showing up to their LGS and playing it, like, that's all I really care about. So if it is true that this actually just improves everything, and having more years of cards in it actually just makes it easier for you to test, then just make good standards, and then like all this goes away and no one is going to complain about it. Like, it's actually as straightforward than that. That is all you need to do. So I think they're not at a point where they're considering going back to, I think I need to update the deck list. I don't think that they're at a point where they're going back to 2-year standard yet, but if it's another year or two from now and standard is just like a broken deck for 6 months into banning that deck, into a new broken deck for 6 months into banning that deck, and they can't figure out a way to like stop that pattern, then I think you end up in a position where we could end up going back to a shorter rotation schedule. So, but maybe they can crack it. Maybe they can crack it. Maybe there is something. That's unfortunate. So we just play the Sephiroth here? Yeah, I guess we play the Sephiroth, because at least it can block. Pass the turn. If they just have our Oberoid, though. Of course. Of course they do. Of course they do. Bone it. Actually, I was thinking about it. They changed. It's so funny, because there's just been so much chaos with... Yeah, I don't think there's any getting out of this. There's been so much chaos with standard over the past few years that when they announced that they were changing rotation to happening in January, I kind of just groaned, because it was... I kind of just groaned because it was just another change, right? Again, we're once again making this change that may or may not even be necessary. But I actually think lining up the Magic year with the actual calendar year probably makes sense. So if it wasn't in the context of all this other stuff that's going on in Standard, in all the other changes, that probably is a logical change. Ketramos. I don't think would Ketramos do anything in this deck? We might have to go back to the Stax deck, because now we're playing Magic. Now we're playing against the Badgermole Cub spew deck constantly. What would Ketramos do in this deck? We don't really have much exile stuff. I guess you could try to add more exile stuff. Maybe it might just be too fair. It might be too fair. Do they not have actual Magic players looking at these cards and betting them for power level? I feel like VV Screaming Nemesis Badgermole wouldn't pass the smell test of most players I know. I think there's two things. I don't think there's two things that go on there. So I think one is, I think some of it is just taking intentional risks, right? Like, Wizards has talked about this. There was a great video from Gavin talking about VV in specific, and basically saying, we made it the safe way, where it like would tap to make mana, but it wasn't all that exciting. And if you always just do the safe thing and the normal thing, you don't end up making exciting cards. So we found a way to make it more exciting, and we'll see if it works out. Time will tell. Hopefully it'll be all right. So, so I think some of that is actual just intentional choices by Wizards, right? To like take some risk, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I think we do want Wizards to take risks. I don't know if they always take the best risks, but yes, I think we do want Wizards to take risks. Oh boy, it's the graveyard deck. Come on, Foggy Swamp Visions. That is our tech. Foggy Swamp Visions. Let's get down the Voice of Victory. Will it be in time? There's only one in the main deck. So I think that's part of. Ooh, opponent awaken the Honor Dead. Sure. Well, that decreases our odds of finding Foggy Swamp Visions, which is an issue. Opponent. Buckworm. Loots. That's a Valgavoth. Well, we will play, I guess, a Umbral Collar Zealot past the turn. Bound, I'm going to mill some cards. If they have Cavanero, that is the game. That is the game, opponent. Okay, tap land. So no Cavanero yet. Have you thought about adding Baron Step Siege to the deck? I have not. I'll have to look at it again. Wow, double Awaken Honor Dead, eh? Opponent gets in. Discards a land. We draw an Umbral Collar Zealot. Well, we will play the Scavengers. Play the land. Play the Umbral Collar Zealot. I mean, at least this lets us get back something when they living end. Still not sure that's enough with a Valgavoth in there. Opponent untaps. Baron Step Siege. 4 mana. Abzan is at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature. Mardu is at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, each opponent sacks a creature. All right, opponent's gonna mill some cards. It could be interesting. One of the things about the deck, like, so it's got this clue plan. So sometimes we're not sacking creatures, we're sacking clues. So I wonder how consistent. I mean, you could also play like the Super Void. What is it, Sephiroth, the Super Void? My God. Opponent, very good at drawing Awaken the Honor Dead. Gonna kill the Umbral Collar Zealot. Okay. Awaken the Honor Dead Tron. Opponent getting in. Well, we will take it. Down to 14. This thing is like popping off. Opponent discards a land. We draw another land. We'll play an Elspeth. And I guess we make some tokens. See, this is where Sandbender Scavenger, the ceiling is so high, but the floor is so low. To the point where I'm like, I find myself wondering if it's even worth playing. No way. Also a bitter triumph. Okay, opponent has had all the removals. Opponent gonna mill some cards. And opponent going to discard a card to get a card back from their graveyard. I mean, opponents milled basically half their deck. Gets back another Bookworm. I mean, if we can find that Foggy Swamp Visions, we can try to do the whole reverse Reno on him. About it. Getting in with the Bookworm. This is bad. Pretty good self-mill draw for our opponent. Opponent gets in. Yeah, sure. Down to 12. Oh, and they're going to get to make an 8/8? That's also not good. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Found it. Gonna discard a card. Get something back to their hand. What would trigger weapons manufacturing in this deck, though? I mean, I love weapons manufacturing, but I think you need to have artifacts in the deck, right? Or else it doesn't really do anything. Oh, weapons manufacturing is non-token artifact, right? Sure. There's Cavanero. Yeah, it is non-token artifact, so all the clues and so forth wouldn't make munitions, or else it would very easily go infinite with itself. Well, Ghost Vacuum in, Foggy Swamp Vision in, and that's about it. Go down the Seam Rip, go down the Scavenger's Talent, go down in Elspeth, go down Toils of War and Tragic Trajectory, maybe? Something like that. Yeah, let's try it like that. I mean, all we really want is them to self-mill and then us draw the Foggy Swamp Vision. That is the plan. Oh, weapons manufacturing. Yeah, I wonder if that'd be fast enough. Maybe. Like 2 damage is nice. I wonder if it'd be fast enough to actually stop the aggro decks. Well, all right. This does not have our answers, but okay, well, we'll try it. Realm of Go. We have both of our enchantments. We really need Graveyard Hate, though. That is the actual answer here. Have you ever considered playing Channel and then... Oh, they're going to take our... There goes our Umbral Collar Zealot, unfortunately. Well, play the land. Obsessive Pursuit. Go. A lot of intimidation tactics. That might be another Badgermole Cub answer. Just like, how do you answer Badgermole Cub? Try to make your opponent discard it on turn 1. Now let's play a Toils of War. Play the Godless Shrine. Pass the turn. Yeah, weapons manufacturing is a cool. Awaken the Honor Dead. Card's so good for our opponent's deck. Having a removal spell that also just blows up literally anything for 3 mana. There is like, this is a good interactive spell, right? There's so much value, you can easily main deck it because it does all these other things too. It's just not like a very fast interactive spell. Now play the Scavengers, pass the turn. What about Obsessive Pursuit in Rakdos instead of Orzhov? Throw in some Wefstalk or Arden. That'd be sweet. I mean, you could build it in Rakdos. You wouldn't get the Toils of War. I mean, it is, yeah, the Wefstalk or Ardent Burning is neat. Seems kind of slow, though. I guess, I mean, even this deck is kind of slow. I think it would be really cool if we were... it'd be so cool for it a 4-bat, where you could play 2 mana artifact into 3 mana creature and, like, stack up. I really want a deck like this to be good. I think that's the bottom line. I really want there to be a standard where you can, like, stack up a couple of cool synergistic pieces and, like, get a value engine going and have that be a actual, like, legitimate plan. I think that would be a sign of Standard being in a really good place. But I don't know if that's the world we live in. Oh, Thoughtseize would be pretty I don't know. I don't know if people would enjoy having Thoughtseize around. Last time it was in Standard, I think it does some healthy things. There are some upsides. But last time it was in Standard, it ended up being pretty hated by a lot of people. Well, we will pass the turn. So we can get rid of the Bringer, but I don't think it even really matters. Like, they have so much other stuff in their graveyard that I'm not sure even getting rid of the Bringer. Like, then they just get a Velgavoth or an Arden that gets a Velgavoth. We get rid of the Valgavoth and they wrath everything. So I think we needed the Ghost Vacuum earlier, basically. We did find it. We didn't find the Foggy Swamp Visions, unfortunately. Oh, opponent. Going to get back. Interesting. They're going to get the Bringer to hand? Okay. And then play... Oh, our opponent is really good at drawing Awaken the Undead. That's like the 5th one they've cast in like 7 turns. Well, I guess we hit the Valgavoth. And then I guess we'll sack a clue to draw a card. Alright, it's another Ghost Vacuum. That's something. Opponent gets in. Loots. Down to 12. This Bookworm is insane, apparently. Well, we'll play a Ghost Vacuum. We'll play an Infestation Sage. Hetcha. Down to 13 past the turn. Opponent gonna mill some cards. Another Arden. And there's a Town Greeter. I'm gonna mill some cards. I think that is... We just need Blood Moon. We need just literal Blood Moon in Standard. And then the universe will be at peace. Oh, that's what I was going to ask. What percentage of Magic do you think 60 card formats are? Because that's something I've really been wondering about. As we have these conversations about, like, how do you improve Standard? How do you improve Modern? One of the things I've been wondering about is, like, are those formats just, like, such a small part of Magic at this point that there's no point in even arguing for it because it just doesn't matter? Like, from Wizards' perspective, if Standard in, like, 60 card formats is, like, 1% of Magic now, then it probably doesn't matter what Standard players think, really. Like, it probably doesn't really make a difference what you think, what you say, because you're just such a small portion of the game that there isn't much of a reason to change things that could impact the 99% if you're the 1%. Most years I know are just featuring One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Star Wars, and Flesh and Blood these days. My LGS went from 80-player Magic scene to 1016 Magic player scene, and other TCGs are popping. Yeah, that's kind of the scary part. Is that it's not like TCGs are down. It's just, well, what about Commander, though? What about Commander? I imagine there's still, like, there's got to still be tons of Commander players at your LGS, right? Well, we know that Commander is the biggest. We know that Commander is the biggest. Wizards has said that, and that lines up with everything else we've heard. So I think we know that Commander is the most popular way to play. Commander Night is like 12 people. Nobody plays Commander at the LGS. Yeah, I guess that also makes sense. Like, why go to the LGS if you can just play with your play group at home? I mean, I guess we exile it. I'm still not sure we're not just dead. Because they can Arden. Well, I guess their best thing's an Overlord. All right, we'll get rid of the Bringer. I mean, we're kind of staying alive somehow so far. At some point, our opponent's going to fire this off. All right, there it is. Cavero. What are we copying? It's got to be Arden, right? It's got to be Arden, and then you get back an Overlord. So there's an Arden. And opponent. I mean, I think you get back... I guess you can get a Bookworm? Can you get the Scavengers? That seems worse. Gotta just be Overlord, I think. Alright, opponent. Gonna get back the Overlord. Gonna mill some cards. Get back Cavera again. Or maybe they want Harvester. Alright, gets Cavero. 23 cards in the deck. Gonna get in at the Elspeth. Gonna get in at the Elspeth. Man, we're so close to having lethal, too, in the air. Like, it's actually not that far away. We can hit for 10? Opponent attacks, attacks, attacks. Mills some cards. Do you miss Planeswalkers every set? Sort of. It's funny because... Yeah, we got a double block, unfortunately. Double block. Keep the Elspeth alive. Get an insect. Opponent goes back up to 18. Opponent plays land. Passes. Unimpends. Loots. I mean, they're down to 18 cards. Maybe we can mill them out. Oh my goodness! Wait, does it matter though? Does it matter? We drew it too late. We drew it too late. We drew it after they reanimated. So we could get back 3 bookworms, an Overlord. They'll be doubled up because of Elspeth. We don't have a sack outlet though. Because our Umbra Color Zealot's exiled. Well, okay, so we get lost. Kill Cavero. Do we have to just keep waiting? Let's take up Elspeth, make some tokens. And pass the... I think we got to keep waiting. There's not enough goodies in the graveyard. I mean, opponents get this... What a weird game this ended up being. But I think a lot of the Planeswalker thing is just Universes Beyond. Do you think they should have Planeswalkers and Universes Beyond sets? Really? Oh, that's probably game ending there. Oh no. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Now we don't even have the ability to reanimate that much stuff, although they can't kill the Elspeth unless they map. Maps into a Bringer of the Last Gift. Gonna leave it on top. It will get milled. But now we're only going to be able to Foggy for 3 because of Malicious Eclipse. That's brutal. That is rough, buddy. Pound it. Gonna crack a map. This time they decide to mill it. Goes to combat. Gets in at the Elspeth. Mills. Gets back something. Harvester. Alright, kills the Elspeth.
This is not the end.
So we can only get back 3 things. And that just is not enough. Is not enough. Well, we will exile... Malicious Eclipse was so good against us. Exile the Cavero. About it. Thinking. No, but hear me out. If Wizards wants to do more UB, then they should actually have more Aftermath sets that are in-universe to break up every once in a while. In addition to having full in-universe sets, I feel like it could make the community feel better and could represent card types that they couldn't do in UB. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be, if they don't do Planeswalkers in UB, there's going to be less Planeswalkers by default. That's just how it's going to work with so many sets being UB now. I think it does, like, contribute to complaints of people when people say that Magic feels less magic-y to them. I think that Planeswalkers is something that's been pretty heavily associated with Magic over the past, like, the second half of Magic's life. Ever since they came around in original Lorwyn, right? Like, Planeswalkers are the characters. That was the Gatewatch. Those were the characters. Those are the things that are leading the Netflix show. Like, Planeswalkers, in large part because of Wizards marketing, like, they pushed Planeswalkers to be the face of Magic. I think they're pretty heavily associated with Magic. So I think not having them in sets, I could see how that could make the sets feel less magic-y to people, just because they're used to... Wait, can we mill them out? 10 cards. 1 Overlord. Only 1 Overlord. And we can't sack anything to turn on Tragic Trajectory. Wait, did they discard another Overlord? All right. So we will... This might actually work. This Foggy might actually get there. So we just Foggy for 1. Actually, Foggy, but this gets back all their real creatures. Wait, we got a Foggy for 3. 1? No. 1, 2, 3. So exile those. Sure, you can copy a Bookworm. I think this should mill our opponent out, because they're gonna... Oh no, this doesn't... I'm so dumb. It doesn't work because it's a cast trigger. Ah, we were so close. Oh, I thought I had such a cool line, but it doesn't work. Almost. I thought we could force them to mill out, but the bringer doesn't trigger off Foggy. Man, that sweeper was so good. Hey Seth, would love to see a Commander Clash where you try to build bracket 1 decks. I feel like it's fun challenge that forces you to go against a lot of your deck building instincts and remove a lot of the staples from decks as well. So what do you mean by bracket 1? Do you mean like actual, because I feel like we have a lot of, I think it depends on what you're going for. So is the idea just to like exclude staples? Because I feel like if you like every card starts with the same letter or some of those themes, or like every cards can only be from the 2000s or the 90s, like some of those themes I think are pretty bracket 1-y, or like the most definitive bracket 1 I think would be like movie week, or like what do we do, anime week, whatever it was, stuff like that, where it's just like pure flavor decks. So I think some of those would be bracket 1. So if it's kind of like, what I'm curious about, I guess, is the goal to build like flavorful decks like movie week, or you know, stuff like that, or is it just to avoid staples and you don't really care about the flavor or that aspect of the deck too much? It's just to avoid playing so many game changers. Hey, what's up, Nick? Welcome to the stream. Good to see ya. Hello. We've talked about like we've talked about incorporating brackets in some way to Commander Clash. I don't know, how many of you play with brackets? How common is the bracket system? So if you're playing removal again on Commander Clash, I mean, it works. I don't know if most people agree with you, though. There are definitely people in the comments that are like, see, this is why you don't play so much removal. The game never does anything. All it is just stuff dying. So what can you do? I do appreciate the pronunciation guide. Opponent, splash portal to blink a spider person of some kind. It makes more spider people. Opponent passes. We get to make a clue. Well, we will play Concealed Courtyard. We will, I guess, so I can do this Quantum Riddler stuff. They don't have the mana to flip that. Let's go Umbro Collar Zealot. Scavenger's Talent. And do we want to try to go in on... We sack this. I think we wait. I think we wait a turn. Let's just pass. We'll just stand defense for now. Play brackets and make custom game changers, put all the removal and counter spells on it. Oh, they are playing green mana. Interesting. Interesting. Pout it. Flips around. Gets in. Well, I think we just take the beats for now. This one kind of hurts, but we will take it. Down to 7 for now. Opponent passes. We get a clue. We draw a not especially helpful land. Well, so we can play a popular Egotist. Sack a clue. Drain ya. Mill a swamp. Sack a clue. Mill a verge. Okay, how about some non-lands? Okay, mill a Sephiroth. Actually, do we want to mill the Sephiroth or do we want to draw it? I think we mill it. Umbro Collar Zealot. Sack the Infestation Sage. Drain ya. Mill the Umbro Collar Zealot. Sack the food. I mean, this is where you start to see the Prop's Eidetic Memory part of Obsessive Pursuit. Go to combat attack. Grow the Umbro Collar Zealot. Give it lifelink. I mean, it was looking like we were almost dead. And then in that one turn, we have turned the corner. Opponent takes 8 down to 4. Play the tap land. I mean, the deck can do some cool things once it gets going. That's for sure. Opponent untaps. And Spyglass Siren. Sure. And Anchorage. And gonna do some map cracking. Exalted. What is our opponent's deck doing? So it's like Bant Token Blink? Oh, I guess maybe they're just trying to scam this. Maybe it's just like a scam. Quantum Riddler scam deck with Splash Portal. That would make sense. That would be the backup to Quantum Riddler. Opponent, gonna crack the map. If we untap, we win, right? I think. 1 makes a food. Opponent getting in. We will take it. Yeah, I mean, I think we just win when we untap. So we make a clue. Oh, now we definitely win. Voice of Victory. Infestation Sage. And do a little Umbro Collar. And this is a popular Egotist win. Sephiroth would not be winning us the game here. This is the damage off the clues from the Egotist. Sag that, wow. I mean, we dealt 20 in like 2 turns. We were at 6. We were about to die to all these spider people. And then the popular Egotist got the job done. I really want this deck to be good. I don't know if it's there yet. I don't know if it's there yet. It is. How do we make this deck less fair, chat? Or are we just kind of stuck with this being a fair? Is this just an inherently fair archetype since we're built around these sort of slowish enchantments? Is there any way? You know what we need? Badgermole Cub. Is there a way that we can add Badgermole Cub to this deck? Maybe. That might be. How do we find room for... So, if we cut this stuff, play some Mana Dorks, play Badgermole Cub, I bet it would increase our win rate. I mean, play Vivi. Yeah, that's Badgermole Cub. Badgermole Cub. That is the Vivi that's still allowed. I think that actually is the way to make any deck somewhat less fair. Find a way to splash Badgermole Cub. Does Downey have a place? Maybe. Although, really, we don't have like that many things that it would trigger. I guess it would double trigger voice. And infestations? Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, the other thing is, so the idea of this deck, John C., welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. So the idea of this deck is to take advantage of these clue-generating enchantments. I do think there's definitely a sack deck that could take advantage of Downey and be very good. I guess it's also possible that maybe just like the enchantments aren't actually worth it. That would make me a little less excited for the deck, because these are the cards that got me excited to like try to this deck. But it might be that just a straight up sack deck without these enchantments, maybe that would be better. Phoenix Fleet could be, I don't know if it speeds up the deck, but it would be a sweet finisher. That card is kind of cool. Man, I hope there actually is a Phoenix Fleet airship deck. I will be very curious. We have Worlds in 2 weekends, and Worlds is actually standard. I will be very curious to see what World Standard looks like. All the big tournaments so far have been modern since we've had the Mannings. So I'm curious to see what it actually looks like when the pros get their hands on it. Oh, did you see? What do you think of this promo? What do you think of this promo? This came out yesterday. This is... Oh, do we keep this? You know what? One land, one keep. This hand has a lot of action. If we draw land... No, all right, we won't. We'll be responsible. We'll be responsible gamers. I guess this is better-ish. What do you think of the promo? This is the Magic Con promo for next year. And I don't know how to feel about this promo. On one hand, it has Flibblethip, who I love, one of my favorite characters. On the other hand, it also has Loot, who I kind of hate. It's like the opposite of Flibblethip. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do. Do I play it? Do I not play it? I have a Flibblethip deck. I actually have a Flibblethip deck that literally plays Wayfarer's Bauble because it's a mono blue deck. Do I play this version of Wayfarer's Bauble in the deck? I don't know. I haven't figured... I have to, right? I think what I do... I think I get the promo. And then just do a little Sharpie magic on the loot part. And then I just have a Flibblethip Wayfarer's Bauble. I think that might be it. I think we might just Sharpie out Loot's face. You know those like breakup pictures that you sometimes see in the movie where like the ex-wife or ex-husband, like they burnt the face of their ex out of their wedding picture or whatever, but they still have the picture. I might just have to do that to Loot. Might just burn out the face and just leave Flibblethip there. It is interesting. I mean, we knew it was coming back, right? We pretty much knew. Oh, they're a flyer. Interesting. They're a flyers deck. Interesting. I guess that makes sense. I mean, we know the storyline is going to be about Lou. We know. We just went on this weird commercial break where we went through a bunch of Universes Beyond sets, but we knew that was that was the storyline, right? When we last left off the Magic storyline, I guess we got Edge of Eternities in there too, which didn't have anything to do with the storyline. But when we left off the storyline, we knew they were supposed to be doing more with Lute and Jace and Vraska. That was part of where we were headed. Now let's play a land. Let's level up. We can't even level up. I guess we just have to get lost. Let's get lost the Riddler. Get in with the voice of victory. Make some doors. Hit you. Do we kill the Momo? They have a Riddler. I think we have to because of Riddler. Yeah, let's kill the Momo. If we don't kill the Momo, they can just play a land and then play the Riddler, and that seems not good for us. Oh, about it. Maybe Reality Fracture is when Lute magically transforms into Fleam. I'm surprised they... Oh, wait, is this air... This doesn't look like the normal version of Airbend combo, but okay. Well, let's play a Voice of Victory. Play a Plains. Play an Umbro Collar Zealot. And pass the turn, see what happens. Boat it. Oh, we know they have this Quantum Riddler coming. I'm surprised they haven't done a Fleam yet. I mean, maybe it's just been too soon. But they haven't really been able to capitalize on Fleam's popularity too much. Hey, Seth, what is your opinion on playing in events on Arena, like Moto Leagues, instead of the ranked ladder? I haven't played them in a long time. When they first launched Arena, I thought that might be the way to play. But then I realized it just like everyone plays the ladder. That's just like the most common way to play. So I figured, well, if that's just how everyone plays the game, I might as well do it that way too. I would actually have to go back and look at what the payout looks like. From what I remember, and it's been a while since I played any of the actual events, but from what I remember, oh, this is actually kind of, well, it's not as good as it looks, is it? So we get to block. So we can bounce the Tylee. But then the Umbro Collar Zealot will untap, if that's what they're concerned about. They can bounce a Voice, just have another blocker. But then they lose a counter. Okay, they're going to blink the Voice. Sure. We untap. Delvokian Encampment, eh? So if we attack with a Voice, we can kill the Tylee? This might just be a level up Scavenger's Talent kind of turn. Level up. Play the land. Level up. Not that we really have anything great to do with it. Go to combat. Get in. Make some tokens. Are we blocking? I want to hear some parody of Flump by Presidents of the United States of America, but with Flump. He's Flump. He's Flump. He's Flump. He might be dead. He's Flump. He's Flump. He's Flump. He's in my head. Man, I forgot all about that song. Whatever happened to the Presidents of the United States of America? Whatever happened? Yeah, let's mill ourselves, I guess. I guess we mill the Obsessive Pursuit. End of turn. We can sack. Get back to Infestation Sage. And I guess we keep milling ourselves to see if we can hit like a payoff. Okay, there's a Sephiroth. There's many Sephiroths. All right, pass turn. Opponent. Oh, this does get a finality counter. That's awkward. That does make it a little bit worse. Opponent combat. And gets in, gonna make some tokens. I mean, we are gonna bounce, block the Tylee, see what happens. Block Tylee. Wow, kill the Tylee. Okay, down to 7 for now. Day of Judgment. Interesting. Well, yeah. We will sack. I guess we go to milling our opponent at this point. Make a food. Mill the encampment. Alright, blow them all up. Ooh, that is not a very good land. Well, we will play the encampment, pass the turn. Is there a card in Standard that removes counters? So there is Heartless Act removes 3 counters from a creature, but I don't think there's a like remove all the counters from Airbender's and Ascension or something. I think Heartless Act is just creatures, right? Man, let me look. I'm pretty sure it's just creatures. Bone it, passing. Well, we get to make a Realm of Co token. But they get to blink their Quantum Riddler. Yeah, remove 3 counters from target creature. Found it. Gonna draw more cards. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. That's a few too many lands. Well, let's Devokian Encampment. Go to... I mean, the synergy is kind of cool. We get to make these tokens. Opponent's gonna block one of them. Down to 12. We make a food. End of turn. Sack. Get back a Sephiroth. Milia. I wonder if we could just focus on... Maybe we're a Scavenger Talent mill deck. Maybe that's the plan? Yeah, I guess we gotta sack this. Interesting. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6? Huh. Does Foggy Swamp Visions mean we can win this game? Maybe. So opponent's graveyard kind of sucks, but there is a Quantum Riddler. Our graveyard. We do have the sack outlets. Oh, it's going to be close. This is going to be super close. Opponent. End step. I mean, they could also have a counter or something, I guess. Gonna blink the Riddler, draw a card. And passes. We draw Tragic Trajectory. I'll play the swamp. Okay, how do we do this? So Riddler, Momo, Tylee. Is there a way? So we get the Infestation Sage. That's 2 bodies. Sack Outlet. Sephiroth. Is it? Well, you know what? Let's just do it and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we will get Spider-Man, Quantum Riddler, Tylee, Infestation Sage, Umbral Collar Zealot, and Spider-Man guy, and Sephiroth. No. And Voice of Victory. Actually, no, that's not right. That's not right, because we want to attack with the Sephiroth. So we got to go 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Tylee, Spider-Man dude. Sack Outlet, Infestation Sage. and Voice of Victory. Actually, Quantum Riddler. Foggy Swamp Visions. Does it resolve? If this resolves... Oh, wow, we're so close to winning. Okay, it resolves. Okay. So we get some triggers. Tylee, tap down the Quantum Riddler. Make a Spider-Man token. Okay. Tashana's Tidebinder. To shut down the Tylee trigger? Okay. So we draw 2. Well, now we go sacking. Sack the Spider-Man. Milia. Make a food. Milia. Sack the Tylee. Milia. Sephiroth trigger. Milia. Sack the Infestation Sage. Get a 1/1. Milia. Mill the... Actually, maybe we keep the Sephiroth. Keep the Sephiroth. Quantum Riddler. Milia. Keep the Sephiroth. Flip the Sephiroth. Attack with... Actually, there's no reason to attack, is there? So we can't win? How many cards they got? 21? We are going to lose our sack outlet. Actually, wait. Wait. New plan. I think we actually want to mill the Sephiroth. Mill ourselves. Mill the Scavengers. End step. Sack. Get back Sephiroth. Get a bunch of triggers. Milia. Double Sephiroth. Opponent. Getting mill. Wow, this ended up being a ridiculously close game. If we sack the Sephiroth, we probably die. Okay. We will not sack. Pass the turn. What a game this has been. What a ridiculous game. Wow. I mean, this is the sweetest this deck has felt, that's for sure. Yeah, the finality counters. The finality counters are a problem. A 5/5, though. Actually kind of sweet, because it can maybe block this Riddler opponent. All right, not going to block the Riddler yet. How do we get... I mean, all we really need is the Delcovian encampment, right? Opponent gonna get in. I mean, we're gonna block the Tidebinder. I don't know what shenanigans are happening here, but we're gonna block the Tidebinder. We drop to 4. But then we get some Sephiroth triggers. Down to 2. So all we really need is a creature to die? Oh, we got him! Double Sephiroth! What a win! No death triggers if our creatures die, but definitely death triggers if our opponent blows up their own creatures. And, okay, so That is a good way. Yeah, I don't know if our opponent had just given up there and decided they couldn't win. I guess if we untapped with this whole Kovian encampment, that also would be super lethal with the Sephiroth emblem. So I guess they were probably dead no matter what. But well, we'll take it. So what do we learn? What we learned today? I think that's a good way to go out. I will say. So the sack deck, I like it. It might be too fair. Like, are the enchantments too slow? Maybe. I'm going to keep working on it, though, because I really want it to be good. I remember those old decks from before, well, like years ago, and just how cool they were with very similar cards. So I really want to make it work. Yeah, it might be too slow to be like truly competitive, but it has some cool synergies as we saw in that last game. Like the games, yeah, Chicken Guy, you are kind of right at the end of the stream today. In the last game, we got to see like when we actually have a little bit of time to get things set up, stuff goes ridiculously wild. Badgermole Cub, I'm a little disappointed in Badgermole Cub. I wanted to show you how broken Badgermole Cub was. Instead, we did get to see some games where we finally got to see the brokenness of Badgermole Cub, but we also had some like pretty bad games, and I think that maybe we already see the meta starting to adjust towards Badgermole Cub, where we saw a ton of hate targeted at this like go wide super aggro deck, where so many people were overloaded on 1-mana creature discard, cheap sweepers, just anything they could do to deal with the creature spew. So maybe nature is healing. Maybe we're already getting there and figure out a way to deal with Badgermole Cub. Although I think we will see over the next 3 years that it is easily one of the strongest cards in the set, and I think it's a card that is going to have a huge impact on multiple formats. I think we're talking all the way back to Legacy here. Badgermole Cub having a huge impact. It is that wild of a Magic card. Yeah, I want to recreate Hidden Stockpile in our current standard format. The other issue is maybe it's just like Wansi Tong, I think, is also very good. I think it's also in the top 3 of the set. I might rank it behind. I still think Wansi Tong is better for like Legacy Modern than Badgermole Cub, even though I think Badgermole Cub is good in certain decks there too. But I think Wansi Tong is like overall a better card in older formats. I think Badgermole Cub might be better in Standard. I think the other thing with this deck, maybe what I'm misremembering with the Hidden Stockpile decks, is it was just another world. That was like 8 years ago, and maybe it's just like the game is just so much faster now that maybe the idea of like stacking up these slow enchantments and eventually getting this like late game loop going, maybe it's not as realistic with just like the current speed of the game compared to where we're at like a decade ago, where maybe it was a little bit more realistic. But anyway, everyone, reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube for old streams. Oh yeah, speaking of reminders, so it is November 25th today. I would like to do, so let's see, where's a calendar here? I'm going to close Arena for now. Let's see. Let me pull up this calendar. So I would like to, so next week, normal stuff. I think on the 9th, I think we try to do a viewer battle stream, perhaps. Let's try to do Avatar viewer battles in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. Avatar viewer battles, and then that'll still give us time to do like a holiday stream, and then there might be some time off streaming over the holiday thing for a bunch of holiday stuff going on. But let's plan on, let's 2 weeks. In 2 weeks from now, not on December 2nd, because we have a bunch of extra group recording stuff that week. But let's plan on the 9th. So 2 weeks from now, let's do Avatar viewer battles. So get your decks ready. If you want to sign up for the viewer battles, send me an email, saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com, or you can just send me a whisper here on Twitch. All I need to know is your arena info, basically. Arena info, what format you want to play. And also, one thing I noticed last time, if you want to sign up and then something changes and you can't show up, don't feel bad about it. I had a few people message me and were like, oh, I signed up, but then like I had to work, so I couldn't be there. I'm sorry. Just like, if you think there's some chance that you want to do it, sign up so you get on the list. And if you can't make it when we actually get there, Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. We'll do another one in the future. But anyway, everyone, one more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and you're awesome. And I love y'all and I appreciate you so much. Hanging out, having some fun. I hope you have an amazing day. Have a great week. If you're in the US, enjoy the holidays. Maybe get some time off, eat some good food this week. So be good, everyone. I love y'all, and I will talk to you soon.